Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we are live on Crowdcast.io doing some podcasting. This is a feedback show. It's where we talk about all the things that you had to say. Well, most of the things. There's a lot of feedback this week. You can find us everywhere you find podcasts. Search the Black Guy Who Tips. Leave us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. We like to read them on the air. The official weapon of the show is
phone chair.
And the unofficial sport,
bullet ball.
And bullet ball extreme.
Yay.
Just, programming note, all that stuff. Black Friday sale still going on. It's until December, I think the 6th. Don't forget, if you signed up already in the past, it's going to auto renew. You're good to go. If you have questions about any of that stuff, you can always email me, theblackouttips@gmail.com. If you don't have PayPal, I need to find another way to take care of this, you can always hit me up, theblackouttips@gmail.com. I've taken care of quite a few people that, pay through other means and stuff, Zelle, Cash App, Venmo, whatever. So that can be taken care of. It's no problem. Holiday cards, we're still planning on sending those out this year. We're still collecting addresses. We're at 87 as of this.
Y'all are not playing.
Yeah, we're at 87. Like I said, we typically get about 100 cards and that takes care of us, but maybe we got to get more this year. I don't know. Right. We'll find out. It's kind of be up to how many people want to get the cards.
Right. And the only thing Rod asks is when y'all email, please put it in the standardized U.S. Format. So if you're outside of the United States, just Google, what's the best way to send it in that format, because it's...
No, even if you're in the United States.
Oh, yeah.
Google how it looks. Just know how it looks. Some of y'all don't know. Some of y'all forgot. Some of y'all didn't pay attention in class. I would like it so I can just copy and paste it onto onto the labels.
Makes the process quicker. Yes.
So just go ahead and take care of that if you're one of those people. We appreciate y'all.
We do.
And what was the last thing? We have our Amazon wish list that is in the show notes every episode. Someone was asking on YouTube, I can't click on the links. I don't know how to make hyperlinks on YouTube. Maybe they don't allow it. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, just copy
and
paste.
But go to theblackguywhotips.com. Don't copy and paste.
Okay.
Go to theblackguywhotips.com, or if you're listening to this podcast on a podcast device, just click on the hyperlink. It's right there. Every single episode has that at the end with the show notes where it's here's our Amazon wish list. So if you would like to send us something, and we would take it, honestly. It's literally a list of things we wish for.
Yes.
Send that joint, and if you need our mailing address, theblackguywhotips.com/about is our mailing address so that we can get stuff like your holiday cards.
Yeah, because people send us holiday cards. We read them, and I hold on to them like old great grandma. So I love the cards.
Yeah, so there you go. All right, that's it. That's all the upfront stuff. Let's get into the show stuff. There are people that took the time out to just give money to the show. Okay, they go to theblackguywhotips.com. They look on the right hand side. It says, hey, you can donate to this show. And some of y'all go, you know what? That sounds like a good idea. I would like to donate to this show. And for y'all, we give you a nice little shout out. We had the choir play a number for you. And then we let you know how we feel.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tie to the Black Guy Who Tips.
Today's a new day. Yes. That's right. New salutation. New denominations. Dana R says, hits her with the recurring donation. Thank you, Dana. Julian N. recurring. Bomani Jones, we all know him. Noel W. Laura E. Nicholas Z. Don G. Pete B. Douglas R. Johanna M. Laura F. Chris from Hawaii. Tabitha M. April G. Corey the Tickler. Alexis H. Wonga from Down Under. Good day, mate. Jeffrey M. Marlon B. Yes, Marlon B. Got a one-time donation from Nadine R. Thank you for visiting.
Thank you.
Tiffany B. We got a one-time donation from Delasha L, who says, I got 5 on it.
Ow.
A nigga made a little money from corporate malfeasance, so I'm giving it to my black ass community. Love y'all. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
We love corporate malfeasance money.
Yes, we do. We'll take it.
This is from, I believe, YRD. That's what it says for their name, and they're a brand new recurring donator. Welcome to the new members class.
Thank you.
Palmetto Stone Magic, Alfonso M, J Full, one-time donation from KS, who says, thanks for everything you did this year to support the right side. Love, Kate the Great. Well, thank you, Kate the Great. Also, that's a great nickname.
Ain't it though?
I'm gonna call by Rod the God. Okay. Jasmine J, Kyle K, James C, David C, Ariana sent us a nice little donation. Thank you, Ariana.
Thank you, baby.
We appreciate you.
We do.
Linda L put just the tip, one-time donation. Thank you. And last, we got a last one-time donation from Cassie F. Thank you very much. Wow. Y'all really came through. Maybe it's because we took 2 weeks off. I don't know. But
y'all was missing that. They were like, look, we got to be sure
money.
that come back.
It was a lot of one-time, like, end-of-the-year bonus donations. Thank you, everybody.
We'll take it. We thank you, y'all. We needed that break. I needed that break.
I don't think we even made it to this part of the song before. Damn, that was a lot of money.
Right? We got to the new breakdown.
Y'all really care. We appreciate y'all. All right, let's get into 5-star reviews. We got a few. All right, we love a 5-star review around these parts. Okay, it makes us happy. It lets us know y'all listen to the show, y'all appreciate the show, that we're not just out here toiling in vain, out here just hoping somebody somewhere listening. We know y'all listening. Okay, so we got 4 new ones. The first one is I think it's 4 new ones. The first one is, oh, maybe it's 5 new ones. I'm sorry, 5 new ones.
Oh shit! Now
the first one is just 5 stars and then 5-star emojis and then nice from Ernest.com. Thank you,
We'll take
Ernest.
that. You ain't got a man, a few words. We'll take it.
This one is from Badussi Crew.
That's hilarious. Reggie, did you write this? That's hilarious.
Badussi Crew. All right. A bomb in the storm. Rod and Karen are the absolute realest in the game. A warm, insightful, kind, and thoughtful hug amid the current world state. Okay, so I'm here to confess my undying love for Rod. You my boo in my head, and if you ever need some, he's okay. I'm sorry. I love you all deeply. Oh, God. There's a lot going on with Badussi Crew.
Yes, it is. That turned left.
Thank you.
We know we loved.
I think thank you is
that's the appropriate thing to say is thank you.
I'm gonna go with thank you and
Yes.
just move on. I appreciate the love.
I do too.
Always 5 stars. This is from Jaboy826, who says, I had to make sure I came and left a 5-star review because I'm not a hater. I love the show and it's part of my nightly ritual after work. It's to the point where I'm disappointed that I have to find another pod when there isn't a new episode. Wow, that's saying a lot because we make a lot of content. Okay,
We do. We make a lot of content.
You run out of our shit, I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you.
Me either.
I can't keep up with our shit.
I'm surprised. There's a handful of y'all that be like, yeah, I listen to every episode. I'm like, woo, child. Kudos to you.
Usually my substitute is Rain on Your Parade. Shout out to JL and Mike. Shout out to JL and Mike. I listen to Rain on Your Parade. I'm not gonna lie, after the election I had to take a couple weeks off because I was so like I was whatever. And you know, it's a show that's typically heavy on the politics. Mike likes it to be heavy on the politics. And I just was like, I can't deal if Mike is on there being like, I told y'all. I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna have to find Mike and I'm gonna have to let him know. But he wasn't like that. Honestly, I listened to it. It wasn't that bad. And you know, JL is a teaspoon of sugar, man, because he can make it funny even in the doldrums of it. And I personally need that. Same reason some of y'all listen to us and y'all are like, man, y'all can make something funny that is kind of like not funny to me.
Yeah,
y'all can help it, and JL does that for me. Looking forward to seeing you two at the live pod here in Charlotte. Oh, okay, you from Charlotte? Let's go. I might have to cop some VIP tickets. Keep up the good work. All right, we'll let you know when that's on sale. I actually need to email them and be like, when is this shit going on sale?
Right.
I mean, y'all got plenty of time. It's not till like the literal last day of February next year.
But we want them, as soon as we can.
So I got y'all. I'll figure that out. But we're looking forward to. And speaking of JL Covan, that's who will be opening for us at our live show in February.
And JL is hilarious. Y'all are in for a treat with
It's
JL.
gonna be great for me either way. Like if no one shows up and it's because of JL Jinx and he has to do a show in front of nobody, I think at least the way I work, the Schadenfreude would kick in, and I would still have a good time, even if it was just me and JL and the only two people in the arena. That won't happen.
That won't happen. But if it did, I would be just fine. And if and the people streaming, I would be just fine. Yes.
Yeah. Karen would not be just fine. She's lying. She will keep trying to make them feel better and tell them to keep going and all this bullshit.
Oh yes.
I would be fine. I would just be laughing. Like, oh my God.
Okay.
How strong is the Jinx?
Okay. Yes, now that is the truth.
Yeah.
Because there's something in me.
Because every time he comes on the
won't
show,
let JL give up. I'm like, I refuse to give up on you, JL. JL like, let me die. Let me jump off the cliff. I want to kill myself in my comedy career. And I'm like, no, JL, don't jump. I don't know why I'm like that. I can't help myself.
Yeah, you're the people that kept Terry Schiavo on life support, and I'm just trying to help him get to a compassionate release.
Rodriguez like, if you're gonna kill yourself, jump it. Do it expeditiously. What are you waiting for? Jump.
Well, it is what it is, says Joe, that dude. Love y'all show, still 5 stars. Plus election night was like waiting for an STD test, and we all found out we caught the Trump again, and it burns. Anyway, love you guys.
Yes, we did caught the Trump again.
Oh my God. 5 stars. This one is from G Benton 14. The last one, it says 5 heart emojis. Still loving the show. 5 flame emojis. Much needed in these trying times. Yeah, this is always the conflict with doing our show, is like shit that is bad for the world. Sometimes people feel like they really need each other in times like this, and they really seek each other out, and they go find places. And I'm not like, there are some opportunistic type of people that really thrive off of that, where it's like, and I don't think they think directly. I hope they don't think directly like this, but some of these niggas might. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on.
Because people motives all over the place. Yes,
I don't know what's going on in Sean King's head, but there's type of people that's like, tragedy is happening, everyone is gonna come listen to my podcast, read my books, to do this thing. And I honestly, I could live with the world being a better place and us not having a bunch of panic listeners.
Ain't that the truth?
I'm okay with that. I don't need to be rich and famous. I'm totally fine with people just not needing to hear me or Karen as like some beacon of hope and light. But it is what it is. We didn't do this shit. We did every fucking thing we could to make it not happen.
We were adamant about it.
So we are gonna
blew my whistle.
We're gonna get a lot of people that are like, I need this shit right now, and honestly, I need this shit too. So we just gonna need it together for however long we need it. But yeah, all right. That's pretty much everything there. We can get into some of the feedbacks and commentary. I do have just a random thing I have to bring up though. On our YouTube, guys, we have now YouTube Shorts. Now, I think the rule is they have to be 60 seconds or shorter, which makes it kind of hard on our people that edit our content.
Right.
Y'all, okay. So we have all kind. We don't know what the fuck is going to work over there.
The algorithm.
We don't know what's going to work on any of the social media for the record.
No, we don't. They be all over the place, y'all.
So, we got Instagram, Blue Sky now.
Yeah, Blue Sky.
TikTok. We have TikTok. We have YouTube Shorts. We have, obviously, Twitter.
Instagram.
I said Instagram first. So I think that's the ones we have. Right now, right before the other day, before like 2 days ago, our highest #1 played clip was Karen talking about snap raps or rap snacks.
Just something ridiculous.
And I want to show it to y'all because it's so funny.
Yes.
No
matter how high and mighty you get, yo, Negro.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me know if y'all getting an echo in the chat real quick.
Chat room, are y'all getting an echo?
Yeah, I'm sorry because I sometimes it gives an echo and sometimes it doesn't. If it's not giving an echo, I'll just keep playing it.
Right.
If it is giving an echo, then I'll change the settings.
Yeah, I know it's a delay.
Yeah.
That says echoing.
Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I don't want y'all to get this. All right, here we go. Now it should work. All right, so this is a funny clip, and like they put a lot of work into this. They put like they edit it obviously, but they add like little pictures and all this stuff. And these things are so funny.
They get us. We went to the convenience store. No matter how high and mighty you get, yo, Negro senses always tingle. And when I got in there, I immediately went for the grape soda, and I got some snap wraps, chips. Wrap chips, whatever them chips is called, with the Three Amigos on it.
Rap snacks.
Oh.
How would you not know that?
I just know I got the Three Amigos on them.
It don't make it, and it's the Amigos. It's not the Three Amigos. What?
Y'all know I'm talking about the rapping dudes.
Damn. Oh my God. When I have to take care of you because of dementia and shit, this ain't gonna be as funny to everybody. When I have to post videos from the home, like, yeah, she can't remember anything, guys. Snap raps.
We went to.
So that was our number one clip, and I like that. That's the spirit of the clip. Everybody leaving positive comments. That's awesome. Okay. All right. We now have a new number one.
Oh shit! What's the new number one?
It's the baby. Me talking about the baby. Us talking about the baby wanting to collaborate with Megan Thee Stallion. This shit has like 6,000 views.
Well, damn.
It's only been up like a couple of days.
Yeah, I know it ain't like this is like one of the most recent ones.
But what's crazy, it's got 19 comments. I say a good 50 to 60% are mad. They mad at us. Like they're upset.
How did we get in their algorithm?
I didn't do it. I didn't fuck his career up. You know what I mean? Like, this on him. What are you mad at me for? All I did was notice it's a ridiculous thing for him to want to work with Megan Thee Stallion at this point after all the shit he's done and said. The baby wants to collaborate with Megan Thee Stallion again, despite previously claiming they slept together. He said this on the Drink Champs podcast. A person with a... I loved how they edit Karen's face in. It's amazing.
I didn't realize I was making them faces because I started laughing. I said, my face.
Memory knows that's not all he did.
There's a lot of shit.
Claiming he slept with her was only one of the egregious things he did. I'm not even counting just the fact that he burned his career, put it on fire, trying to be like, I ain't with them gabies or whatever the fuck he was saying. Like,
yeah, shit got canceled. He ain't never come back.
He threw his career away just because the homophobia kicked in. Baby is calling on his former frequent collaborator, Megan Thee Stallion, to come home and get back in the studio with him despite dissing her.
Did you say come home?
I got love for Meg. He said, me and Meg did some dope shit together, and it's good to see her rise amongst the obstacles. Nigga, you was one of the obstacles. Why'd always be a hurdle talking about, good on you for jumping over me? You the hurdle. The baby. So, these comments, y'all. Like, a lot of them are good. The audacity. Totally. Thank you. If turning down gay mean no career, I'm all for it. Y'all weirdos. And this is from someone called Mind Your Business. They're not minding their business. I won't even go over the ones that agree just because, obviously, the baby is a good rapper. He just got anger issues, made me laugh. Not because I'm not saying he's a bad rapper, but yeah, obviously he got anger issues.
Yes.
Like, whatever. Regardless of what he said, they did make God music together. Okay, they did. That's true. I did like some of their songs. Bro didn't ruin his career. Dead emoji. People definitely still listen to him. I didn't say people don't listen to him, but his career is not on the trajectory that it was before this. And anybody that doesn't see that is just lying. I think he was gonna be a Megan Thee Stallion level big rapper. He was on that. I mean, this motherfucker was everywhere. You know, they used to at the Hornets games. They used to like stop the game to be like, "He here, y'all."
Just every single game.
Yeah, like it was a big deal, man. I mean, I'm from Charlotte. I don't like. I'm not rejoicing in this motherfucker's like downfall or whatever. I just think he got put on a pedestal that he wasn't necessarily about with a certain type of fan, like the people that were like, we love him. He's such a positive, inclusive, like this type of guy. And I'm like, I think he's just a street dude that he rap real good. He's not trying to be this political activist shit that y'all throwing on him. And of course he's gonna let y'all down because that's not his lane and that's not what he wants to do. So
right, because it's all his choice.
Yeah. Anyway, so people disagree with that. He must have offended your community. I guess they're trying to call me gay. Why would I be offended by you calling me gay as I'm saying like homophobia is whack, bro? I don't care that you. Who gives a fuck? And honestly, it doesn't change anything for me because nigga, I know I'm me. But I think it's like it's an insult to you. You're leveraging it as an insult because it's an insult to you. Like someone is gay is bad. Thank you for proving my point. That's my point, is that you think like that. But that didn't kill his career. He kept going. That I think that's another thing that happens too in life lately. If you say somebody got quote unquote canceled or the career was killed, people really think you mean like this nigga can't go to 7-Eleven because they don't have $5 to get a Gatorade. No, everyone's gonna continue to exist. He got his core fan base. He's on the drink champs because he's still somebody. It's not like it's not the trajectory it was gonna go. He had a controversy. Maybe it'll come back. I don't know. But yeah, he kept going. That petty mess with his kid's mom. Then he put Meg on blast like a bitch ass nigga. Meg on top. Don't go backwards. So I don't know if this person's trying to say is like the other things killed his career or just his career isn't dead. I don't know. I'm not saying his career is dead. May God open your eyes, brother. Your energy breeds pandering and weak. Blessings from the stabilizer.
Oh Lord,
with a bunch of numbers behind.
Say Grand Rising. I'm gonna be a king and queen. What is happening here?
How come God got to come into it? I find it odd that God comes into homophobia only because we're talking about a rapper named The Baby that even when he was rapping, nothing holy was in them words. Like, Jesus ain't involved in this one, brother.
I don't think he is either.
It's like he just don't like gay people because God told him. Sure. He's not homophobia. That's not how you use that word.
Yeah, just out of context.
I think you mean homophobic. He's not homophobia. I really doubt he's scared of a punk. That's homophobia. This world is so stupid now, shaking my head emoji. If you think homophobia means literally you are scared, like physically scared, then you don't know what homophobia is.
No,
and I do agree with you. This world is very stupid. So I guess we have to agree on that one. All right, now let's get into these. But yeah, we don't know what'll go viral. We got people mad at us on TikTok and by the way, it's never about what the clip is about.
Nope, it's about other shit. Some kind of shit we didn't even say.
All them people mad. I'm not saying I didn't say it, but all those people are mad because of a throwaway line where I'm like, he fucked his career up because of homophobia. And they're like, what?
Yeah, and just like on TikTok, they mad about that one with the flag. And I'm like, we said, like, literally, we said American flags went on, and we talking about cowboy flags. And like you said, they found that one phrase, and that was the talk of the town.
Crazy.
Yeah, it don't make sense.
All right, though. We've been tested. We're going to make it. Y'all can't stop us.
Through the fire.
Let's get into...
I holler every time. That clip checks me out. I'm sorry.
All right, let's get into some of the show comments. But let me play music first so we might can get paid. All right, we did get some comments. Y'all know how it do. Y'all know how it go. We took a week off. because just to take a break after the election, but we did do a feedback show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, honest to God, guys, I don't even know if it's possible for me to read all the feedback from the feedback show.
Oh, because so many people have so much to say.
It's so much because it's about the election, obviously, and we
Right.
all
So
kind
people
of
had a
know
lot
how
of
everybody feels
opinions.
on this.
Yeah.
But like we've never had this kind of response before where I'm like, I don't even know how you can
Get through
read all this shit. Like we have 40 comments on YouTube. We have 27 on our website. And these ain't all like one sentences. These are long ass, like y'all wrote
paragraphs. I was like, I
type of thing
to say.
But I'm gonna try to go through it. We gonna see what it look like, cause that's how much love we got for y'all. I'm definitely not gonna read the responses on the pregame, which we got 11 comments on that one, which is about kind of the same thing,
right?
As this, and I did put this on YouTube. So how many we get for that? We got 41 comments. So yeah, I literally can't do all of them. Pregame, that's behind the paywall. Y'all got a little sample. All right, now let's get to this. 3008, racism undefeated. That's our feedback episode. We got, like I said, 27 comments. Whew, here we go. Lord Jesus. Dizzy Lizzie Gal says, thanks, y'all. I know we're all feeling a lot of emotions right now. I woke up to catch the final hour of this live and re-listen later. His first election took me out. I was down really bad like Karen. This time, I was very worried because I know how deep racism and misogyny runs here, but let myself be hopeful after seeing all the Zoom calls and the joyfulness at the DNC. Now we will all reap what half this country is sold. Bisola says, hi, Rod and Karen. Thank you for another insightful show, even during this devastating time. I'm in Canada and the news of her loss hit me very hard. I was in a daze on Wednesday and I had to watch old episodes of Sex and the City as a form of escapism. I was speaking to my sister who lives in a blue state and city and voted in the election, and I think your point about people living in a bubble has lots of credence. I was shocked that she said that people were not scared of a second Trump presidency, but were more upset about inflation under Joe Biden, and that Kamala being his black vice president hurt her chances. Yeah, I mean, the fact that and Donald Trump just understands the soul of the country in this way, that the fact that he can just say she's a DEI president and everybody knows what that means. And there's people that aren't ashamed to vote against that or voice those opinions. Like, these people they're not hiding. They're not shrinking. They're not saying that. Basically, as long as they don't blatantly just say the hard R N word, these people are allowed to be racist. And none of us are allowed to say it is the racism. It's just, it has to be something wrong with the Democrats, something wrong with the campaign, something wrong with Kamala Harris.
No more excuses. I don't want to hear it.
So it's something wrong with everybody but these people that keep voting for this shit.
Right.
She has always been a bit conspiratorial. I think she's talking about her sister. So I'm not surprised she fell for the Kamala disinformation campaign. This is the first time I heard her say it. I know she most likely voted for Kamala, but the fact that I have to even wonder worries me. Wishing you both love and light during these times. Dizzy Lizzie Guy responded to this, said, I live in a blue state too, like your sister, but maybe because I'm an attorney, I can appreciate how the federal government takes precedent over the states. I know my governor will do his best to insulate us from the effects of this man's administration, but that can only last so long and go so far.
Right.
We will all feel the effects of his incompetence nationwide.
Yes. And I will say yes to that again. The biggest reason why people that are in these quote unquote safe havens, blue states, or whatever you want to call it, it don't mean you're safe. Like your impact may be a little less, but you're still gonna feel the impact. Your daily life will be impacted. You're gonna see shit change around you too. You're gonna see laws change around you too. As these people get power, they're gonna start impacting these places that you quote unquote claim safe, like upstate, down south, for your state, wherever it is. These people gonna come out. You're gonna fuck around. You're gonna start seeing more flags, because I think Trump make these people bold. So all of a sudden, these people that's been living in all these places across the country that people just think is a joke, and they just go, well, we live in a big city. They gonna come marching through your big city, and then you ain't gonna be able to do a motherfucking thing but just look at them.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I think also politically, purple states, we have to be careful, because like in North Carolina recently, like I think last night, Republicans that are still in power in our Congress passed a law where like pushed a bill towards that, since they still have a veto proof majority. And I want to say it's something where like I want to say it's governing our elections. Yeah, they ripped the powers from the governor and ripped the Constitution again. Um, they this person's editorializing line. What did they do? Oh, this is 100% opinion. Just give me the fucking news, nigga. Okay, yeah, they stuck an outrageous, undemocratic power grab into the hurricane relief bill. So let me just look at the date on this. November 20th. Yeah, so a couple days ago. But yeah, so we know we have a hurricane relief bill, which is funny because a lot of the money for the bill is not in the bill. Like they didn't pass a lot of money and help to the state, but they wanted to sneak in this power grab. So it's a massive power grab, says Melissa Price Crom, executive director of the pro-democracy group North Carolina for the People Action. They didn't like what happened in the election. They want to overturn the will of the people, and that's not how democracy is supposed to work. It changes how elections are administered is the way the bill works. Democrats won everything but Trump here. So we won governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, secretary of state, and school superintendent. And they're leading in the Supreme Court race, which is headed for a recount. So Democrats may have swept everything but the office where a black woman was up in North Carolina, right? So we also broke the GOP supermajority, which means that our governor next session, he will have the ability to veto these draconian Republican laws and stuff like that. Well, they don't like that. So they're like, fuck that shit. The bill prevents the governor from appointing members of the state election board and transfers that authority to the state auditor, who for the first time in more than a decade is a Republican. So they literally went and found the one Republican and was like, this is the new person that decides who will be on the state election board. Under North Carolina law, the governor, a position held by Democrat Roy Cooper for the past 8 years, appoints a majority of the members of the state on the state election board and county election boards. The auditor will now have that authority, giving Republicans the power to appoint majorities on the state board and 100 county election boards. These appointments will likely have major ramifications for elections in the state. The state board administers elections and issues guidance to county officials, who in turn have the power to decide where polling places go and a number of early voting locations. In addition, both the county and state boards must certify election outcomes. So basically, they're just trying to do the same shit that they were doing. Like, well, we couldn't steal it for Trump, or we couldn't steal the election, but Trump still won. But we're emboldened by the fact that Trump is in office. So you have Republicans that are in our states like ours that are now more bold than they would have been.
Yes, and this is the biggest reason why I want people to really, really understand. And I've been saying this, and people would be like, well, why is she angry? And I think somebody even, and I don't remember who the person is, even wrote in and was like, why don't you just move? Like I said, people think I was motherfucking joking. Where can you move to? Because a lot of these people who think that they won't be touched, this shit is getting ready to impact you. They're getting ready to take over your boards, your school boards, your local elections. They're getting ready to come in like ever before, and they're going to change your laws too. You move now. Just like y'all tell people from the South, how can y'all stay down there and just deal with them making up them fucked up ass laws? Why don't y'all just move? Well, then when it's your turn and somebody looks at you and they just tell you to pack your shit up and move, you're going to be like, well, why should I move? Well, bitch, that's how I feel all the time. Why should I move? Why should I move? These laws shouldn't be there. We should fight against this bullshit. But the thing I realized about human beings, people don't give a fuck about shit unless it directly impacts them. They don't care about people that's poor. They don't care about people that don't have. They just don't care. They don't care about any issue. A lot of people, you don't care about gays, LGBTQs. You don't care about this shit until it directly impacts, until your daughter or your child or somebody in your family, all of a sudden your eyes are open. You don't have that compassion. You don't have that empathy. You don't understand why these people down, particularly down south, have been raving for decades about how fucked up it is and what we should do and how I've been been fussing about all the time how the Democrats shouldn't just fucking give up on the South and not pour money down here and just say fuck it, let whatever happen to them niggas down there. You know what happens when y'all give up on us? The rest of the country is fucking impacted. So I'm not trying to be funny. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody in the next few years when Trump and them start trumping across the country and start changing laws in your states. All of a sudden, when y'all be like, I wouldn't move down south, they got guns everywhere. Well, bitch, wherever you are, they get ready to change them laws. They get ready to be walking around with guns everywhere there too. Why? Because they can do this now. They've been empowered and they've been emboldened by Trump. Trump has told them, be quiet no more. Trump has told them it's time for you to come out. It's time for you to be loud. And ain't shit the law can do about it. They gonna let you do whatever the fuck you want to do across this great land. That's what's happening here. But it's not going. But for some people, it's not going to be until their neighborhoods get fucked up, until they're scared, and then they're gonna be like, well, where can I run to? Nowhere, bitch. Why? Because when it was happening down here, you fucking ignored it.
Neb says, a million thank yous for everything you do. Since 2020, I've had to make some big changes in how I get information. And a big part has been cutting down on social media and getting more information from podcasts, radio, news articles, and talking to people in real life instead. Your podcast has been a big part of that for me and has helped me keep my head on straight and informed without going crazy. And it's helped me a lot be a lot more effective activist and organizer. I've been able to put in a lot of work in my local community lately, and thank you for helping me get to that point. Please, for the love of all that is good, take care of yourselves, and you should be proud. I refuse to believe that any of the work you put in is going to waste, even if this election went bad. I can at least say you've had a positive influence on my life and therefore my community, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. Oh, for sure. And I don't feel like the work was wasted. I don't feel like I would have done it 100 times out of 100 if I had to do it again, even knowing the result. And the other reason I don't think it was a waste is because I think there's a lot of reframing of the election results that isn't true. This was not a landslide. This is not a mandate. This was not a rejection of Democrats and Democrat policies, in my opinion. That's just the way people want to frame it. But it's going to turn out to be a very close margin now that all the votes have been counted in the popular votes. And it's still going to turn out to be that a lot of motherfuckers chose Democrat people that were up that just weren't Kamala Harris. And my big thing is it's just racism and misogyny that they wouldn't do it for Harris, but they do want Democratic policies in their states and their local government and their local initiatives. So yeah, I mean, it's damning in that there's no other excuse. I think that is the biggest part for me, and I'm just not interested in people making excuses.
Yeah, I agree.
But that, to me, it's a very sobering realization, which is like, oh, okay, so it's just she's a black woman. It's not really. You can go back and have all the plans and all the like episodes and podcast pontifications about what the Democrats should and shouldn't do, what's next, this is a very close loss that just comes down to, if you run a black woman, you're going to lose president. If you run a woman, you're going to lose president. If you run a black man, you still might lose. I don't know that, like people saying Westmore and shit, I don't know that will happen or not. It might. I mean, I'm not going to, only because we've seen it before that it might, but we've never seen a woman win. And it sounds like that's what America is saying they won't deal with. On a personal note, I was surprised at how surprised I was with the results. I hadn't realized until I checked the results how much I was expecting her to win. I'm a white woman, and most of my social circles are other white women, and I truly got the sense that most of us were going to do the right thing. People I knew and people around them, even those who leaned conservative or didn't vote for Hillary, seemed like they were going to flip this time. But I guess my circles aren't as representative of the country as I thought, which is extremely disappointing and frustrating. I feel like I should have known better, but at least I know that I did everything I could. Yeah.
And that's all that for me. I did everything I could. Me and Roger, we talked about before. We was like, oh no, we're not doing what we did for Hillary Clinton. You know what I'm saying? I was like, no, we all in. We gonna go all in. We gonna talk about it. We gonna push hard. We're gonna encourage people to vote. Like we're not going to do that. And so I'll just decide, as long as I feel like I did everything I did, I am satisfied. Like I'm satisfied. And me being satisfied does not mean I'm not angry, mad, or upset or anything like that. Me being satisfied means I did everything that I possibly could do. But like I said, the day before the election, this is a group project, and the group decided for the F.
Yeah, it's funny because people kept saying like, oh, not people kept saying, a person on our, who I think misunderstood the clip that we put on social media, was like, why are you surprised Trump won? I'm not surprised. I'm black in America. I'm never really gonna ever be surprised by some racism popping up. That's not the problem. But it doesn't, I don't, but surprise is actually not a integral, or it is not a necessary element of being upset with the outcome of something. You don't have to be surprised to be upset with the outcome.
Agreed.
And so I think I'm not surprised, but it is upsetting. And I don't need to lie to people and act like I'm not upset or I'm over it or this don't bother me. It bothers me tremendously. I believe this man when he said all the shit he's gonna do, and I believe it will come to pass. And I believe this country is not equipped for fighting back in general. I know certain conclaves, certain groups, certain people that exist in certain marginalizations. We used to fighting, so we know, like, buckle down. We come from a long generation of people that had to take care of themselves through some horrible times. But, you know, I was hoping we could avoid that. I was hoping not to have to do that. I was hoping, you know, my niece and nephews and people like that would not have to have the torch passed to them through the generational trauma that is America for black folks. But yeah, it looks like they're gonna have to go through it too.
Yeah, and it's sad, and I talk about like my mama's generation, all this stuff, but people in their, even people in their 40s, possibly 30s, y'all do know once a lot of this shit start passing, you would have had more freedoms as a child than you do right now. Like consider that. Like, you ain't that old, 30s and 40s. Like, they getting ready to pass laws where you're gonna be like, well, damn, I could do more as a kid than I can do right now as an adult. And that's very fucking heartbreaking.
If you're a grown woman and that's been alive for 4 years, that happened already. If you have the reproductive organs necessary to create life, you have lost some rights in the last 2-3 years. And it's not gonna stop.
Mm-hmm.
If you're black and want to vote, you've lost some rights in the last 10-15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sounds like you have a similar feeling about having done your part. Hearing you express that was pretty validating for me. We'll just have to keep on keeping on, I suppose. Landorf. Yeah, we always keep on keeping on, man. Look, every day we wake up is another day that you can keep moving. That's it. You don't, like, it's not, I think a big part of this is the psychological element of wanting people to feel defeated and like, I give up, fuck it, whatever. Now it's always been a fight with the country.
Yes, yeah. And like I said, it's always been a fight. It's something that happens. How they say, quote unquote, you win some, you lose some. Like, that's just life. I've been long enough I've been around long enough to know that every time I vote for somebody, it does not automatically mean they're going to win. Like I've kind of experienced that, and it's, you know, one of those things where it's a lesson learned, but also it's like, what are people going to learn from the lesson is the most important part. And also, particularly, a lot of the Democratic side, we are rule followers, and that's one thing about a lot of these people on the left that was going crazy. I was like, motherfuckers, you follow rules. Like, whatever rule they make, bitch, you gonna follow them. You ain't gonna go against them. You ain't gonna break them. Why? Because you don't want to fucking go to jail. And the thing is about fighting and things like that, about protests, about actually doing the grunt work, sometimes you got to look at the law and be like, hey, I have to go out here and do this thing, and I might get arrested is part of it. So I'm like, okay, you cozy in your home, don't got a gun, always want to follow the rules, talking about just let whatever may, you're gonna be impacted the most because you gonna follow the rules. Like, you're not gonna buck against the change. You're not gonna really, a lot of them aren't really gonna do anything. You're just gonna sit and complain online. That's not trying to find. That's the shit that pissed me off, because y'all are the ones talking about the revolution. Y'all are the ones talking about the Civil War. Y'all are the ones talking about that shit. When at the end of the day, you're not made of the shit that you're talking about. It's a fantasy world that you have that's not reality.
Let's see. Nettie Best says, I've been planning to get behind a paywall for months, but ride sharing this good yet embarrassing rap made me spend that dough. One of us says Sean, and Nettie Best put heart emoji. Well, shout out to you and thanks for coming behind the paywall.
Mm-hmm.
Appia says, I know I don't live in the U.S. and I'm very happy about it, especially now, but I was very depressed the morning after and I had to take a train to Berlin for Congress for 3 days, Away from home on an extremely important work meeting, people chose hate over hope. On the train ride, I felt all the feelings and I tried to think how to handle the future best. Again, I know I don't live in the U.S. What I will not do is doom scrolling and following his every move and feeling terrible every time. He will do crazy things and there will be no consequences, but I also had to unsubscribe to a podcast that called it the same as Germany in 1933. This is also not it. Hitler wanted to create living space in the East, for example, and for that, killed the people who already lived there and was voted on it. I'm not great in geography, but I don't think lacking space is a problem in the U.S. You have lots of space. I've seen it. Hey, something positive, not like our highly populated Europe. Yeah, I think what's interesting about that Appia is that him and JD Vance still made these promises as if we don't have enough space in America. And part of the promises does feel similar to Hitler's Germany stuff because it's very much about the other and moving them out of the country. And the ways, at least that I understand it, obviously I'm not from Germany and I know that I am not saying that is the same. So
Right.
just understand, I think you understand that as I say this.
Right.
Right. But I'm not saying it's the same. But the ideology of these immigrants are the reason you don't have jobs. These immigrants are the reason housing costs are so high. These immigrants are the reason life isn't going great for you as a person in America. And we need to put them in camps, imprison them, force them out of the country. We need to strip birthright citizenship, which is when you are born on American soil, you become an American. That is I think the 14th Amendment, if I'm not mistaken. They want to strip all that shit. And so in those ways, it has this leanings of this beginning of like, there's a war on the other. And so I think that might be what that podcast is talking about. But also, you gotta both sides of that equation understand. As a listener, you need to have your mental space to be like, I don't want to hear this right now. And them as a podcast, they need their mental space to be like, this is the worst thing ever. I can't imagine this is happening. So it happens. She says, making it even worse than it already is bad enough. Only increases the panic and I can't deal with it. Sounds so soft, can't deal with it. I really can't. I can bring myself to the edge of panic, and who does it serve? Probably the media. No thanks. I try to be the best human in my life, and I can be and nice and helpful and loving to others is my opposition to evil. That's the best idea I have. Overall, it was good to be away in hindsight. My work is pretty non-political. There was lots of new science in the treatment of multiple sclerosis presented, a disease that attacks people no matter what their political views. Even if more women are affected, there's lots of new development. People affected can pretty much live normal lives if they can get medication, and even for them, drugs will be generic in maybe 7 years and the prices go down a lot for everyone. There was so much happening on the Congress in Berlin, 6,000 people, almost no one talked about the American election. When my colleagues started doom talking in the cab on the first day, no one here is pro-Trump. I asked them to stop because it made me extremely sad, and they did. So that's good. Yeah, everybody got to protect themselves how they can. I feel you. The fallout was pretty bad. Angie says, Karen, I felt all that rage. I agree with you and Rod. America wanted this. Ann says Project 2025 has been the plan since Reconstruction. They never wanted to change this country. Ironic that the person responsible for this plan succeeding as an African-born German man married to a man with children born via surrogate. Guess he feels safe. And it's Peter Thiel. Sean says, Ann says also, people should check Reddit for Project 2025 discussion. There are spreadsheets explaining what each part of the plan means and how it might be implemented. Best case scenario, we spend 4 years in hell with a bad economy. Worst case, we become a dictatorship that resembles Russia. Keep in mind that Russians have been immigrating to America to escape Russia. Abia says, or maybe don't. Can you change it? No. Can you absolutely destroy your mental health? Yes. She means going on Reddit. Well, Ab, you got to chill out, though. If somebody else want to go on Reddit, that's them. You get to control what you consume. But if these motherfuckers want to go learn about Project 2025 on Reddit, fine. They might want to know what possibly can happen. They might want to know what to prepare for. We have to live under this. So us being informed, I don't think is the worst thing. I'm not a doom scroller. I'm not a person that's gonna do. I've listened to podcasts, but I'm not gonna be on here going through the Project 2025 page by page like some podcasts do. It just doesn't feel like my lane, or comedy, or fun. And it would lead to me feeling that way. But if Ann want to go do that, and if people want to go do that, and Reddit is a resource that will help, I don't. Yeah, let them do it. Sean says, you forget about Trump's one redeemable quality. He's absolutely inept. Even with support he is likely to receive, his presence makes their success less likely. Yes, we are likely to see a second Trump recession, but whenever you start catastrophizing, just remember neither Trump nor Vance have shown any competence in their over long time on this earth. They have the confidence of mediocre white men because they are that or slightly less. But less mediocre white men, they are completely inept at everything they say they are competent at. It will be bad. There will be an increase in racist attacks, probably. The economy will probably likely go to shit. It always does under Republican presidents. But the people put in power by a bunch of fucking morons who haven't learned the proper way to wipe their asses are by their very nature inept, which should protect us from much of their worst inclinations.
Yeah, and baby, I hate to be like this. I kind of disagree with you. And the biggest reason why is because Trump learned for the first time. He learned from the first time. And so this time, anything that he wants to pass, he's going to be sure that he has people around him that don't give a fuck about your laws, that ain't going to try to stop him, that's literally going to allow him to do the shit that he said he's going to do. Like, literally, that's the whole purpose. He basically got people that's going to swear their allegiance and pledge to him. And so they're not really that stupid, you know. No, Trump is not a smart man. Please don't get me wrong. But at the same time, he's smart enough to know that I don't need people in here that's going to push against me. I don't need people in here going to tell me the laws. I need for people to just going to do the shit. And if we get sued, fuck it, we'll get sued. You know what I'm saying? He's like, you know, ask for forgiveness later. Versus before, people would go, that's against the law. Like, he had very smart, bright, and intelligent people that actually knew how the government ran. All the positions that he's putting in there now, these are people that are literally opposite of whatever the fuck the board he got him, he put them on. So they're going to go in and tear the shit up. So it's going to impact us a lot more than people think. I agree with you. He's not smart, blah, 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 blah. But my thing is, the point is he's going to be a lot more effective than he was the first time.
Yeah, I agree with Karen completely. I'm just saying, says whoever this Earl guy on YouTube, sir, you are hilarious. The way I full belly laughed in front of my computer while doing work. Perfect show title, never lost. Because the title was Racism Never Lost. Shoe Booty says, Karen is right. Just because you think you're safe in a blue state, no one is free. No one is free till everyone is free. Racism and radical conservative politics is a disease and is infecting so-called safe spaces. My blue state was not blue by a landslide like it usually is. It was blue by a small margin, and that is frightening. Karen is outraged at going back to bologna sandwiches after she's been spoiled by Chef Rod's gourmet meals. Very justified rage.
Yes, it is.
Miss Barnes says, hello, Rod and Karen. Karen was fucking cooking from the 124 to 127 mark on this. She is me at this moment. I put my hands together and screamed amen. Yay Tunde says, I cackle when Rod said, we will not have it, like Mbaku. I absolutely love it when I see my culture, Nigerian, make an appearance in American pop culture. I feel seen. I think this goes perfectly with your point about cultural appropriation. We should be happy to see our stuff in the zeitgeist unless it's being disrespected. Also, I apologize for insinuating that y'all didn't say enough about the election stuff on the show from election night. My comment about needing Karen's seething furnace of rage, I realize how it comes off now. Like I want you to be my own personal anger translator. I was just so in my feelings and looking for you right-minded folks to discuss it. I appreciate you taking the time to really sit with it a couple of days before fully going in during the feedback show. At first, I was despondent and everything felt pointless. I didn't even feel motivated to make art. Like, why even bother? Then I went back into my art studio after about 2 days and released all my emotions onto the canvas, and the piece sold within 2 days of me finishing it. So I guess I'm saying that terrible election results was good for my art. Haha. No, really, I'm saying all that to say, please keep doing what you do. We need your voice now more than ever. Abia says, thank you for saying this about culture. I wanted to comment also, but this is a minefield for a white lady, and I agree with Rod here again. People want to imitate what they see on TV and hearing music. This is normal. This is the way people learn. They don't ask first, is it okay to want to sound as cool as this person on TV? That is what my brain does. And would it be helpful to have fully divided cultures? Is the world not divided enough? Wouldn't want to be only allowed to consume German or Polish culture just because I was born here. And I'm sure I learned some expressions from this podcast alone, like welcome to the cookout. Yeah, like I said, I'm not one of these purist extremists. I actually don't understand I don't even understand why people get so caught up in that other than for rage bait, because it's something that's going to happen anyway.
Yes,
and then
sir.
You can, I guess, eternally have a thing to be mad about. Like, why is a person that is not black ever rapping? And I'm just like, I don't, that kind of shit is just a waste of my time to even be, that's a waste of emotional energy. And at the end of the day, I actually support and want that. I want people seeing our culture is dope, and I want it spreading, and I want people trying to participate. And there's going to be growing pains and learning pains, and some people will be fucked up towards it, but some black people are fucked up towards our art, like exploitative and manipulative of it. So it is what it is. It's just, those are human beings, and this is life. Think Pretty Smart says, even if VP Harris had a stack of evidence, there's nothing she could do because the Dems have not given us any indication that they would do anything about it.
Right.
And when he refused, right. So you agree with that. Okay.
And
I do not agree with that.
And the reason why is one of those things where it would depend. It's like it would be a fight, and they would go in and put like this. It would be interesting if she had a stack of evidence and she came in and actually fought. It would actually, people would fight, but then who would decide? The Supreme Court? Like where would this line go?
All I'm saying is this: I don't forget who would win the fight. I refuse to believe that Vice President Harris and her people that had this huge election operation that monitored all this shit have more information than any of us have with our conspiracies and our hopes, would see evidence that they literally got cheated out of a fucking election.
Oh, she would.
And just be like, oh, well, win some, you lose some. If we got cheated, we just get cheated. I don't believe that. I won't let y'all put that on her. I won't let y'all put that on her people. I won't even let y'all put that on the Democrats, because I don't believe that. They were prepared to fight. And also, this takes, in my mind, the onus off of what really fucking happened. White people voted for this shit.
They did.
They wanted this. More of them voted at a higher percentage for this shit. Let that sink in. These are our fellow country people. This is the country we live in. They didn't need to cheat to do it, because the rules are already set up for if they want it bad enough, they will get it. They know what kind of man this is. They wanted that more than all the good people who claim to be good wanted to get off their ass and vote. They wanted that more than the people that have like one issue.
Yeah,
they wanted it more. That's it. Look at your fellow neighbor that's like, I just couldn't do it for some reason. That motherfucker right there. Don't give them no excuses. But they must have did something. They didn't need to do shit. The only thing that needed to be hacked was whiteness, which is just, hey guys, brown people coming to take your shit. Oh, I better get up and vote. Not again. Like, it is what it is. We got to stop acting like Kamala was some weak ass person. Her campaign was bad. The Democrat apparatus is just like, whatever. If that was the case, they would have. The reason I won't give them this is, what was 2020 then? What was 2020? Joe Biden, lawsuits, Democrats fighting to the last day. They ran up on the Capitol. Mike Pence still confirmed that election. If they had the bullets in the gun, they're firing them. No Ashley Babbitt. They are firing, like we, the voting populace, did not give them enough to fight on. And that's damning in the face of knowing what kind of campaign this man ran. So no excuses. No, I think they might have got cheated, but they just won't say it. Why the fuck wouldn't they say it? Who the fuck? Everybody will be saying, nobody will leak it. All the people that spent their lives, hours and hours and hours of their lives, phone banking, canvassing, campaigning, flying people out, they would see this evidence and be like, well, ain't my business. No, they be everywhere like, nah, the numbers, this not adding up. It is what it is, man. We need to accept this because you can't fight back a truth you won't tell yourself. These niggas wanted this shit. That's the real truth. Now, how you combat that you can start the next day, but the first thing you got to start with, these motherfuckers really did show up and vote for this motherfucker. It was not a mandate. It wasn't like, just because the Electoral College makes it look like a mandate, that don't mean shit. They won by thin margins in a lot of these states, but they did win. And many of them won specifically for Trump, meaning we came out the house to vote for Trump, nobody else.
No, right, nobody else.
Because we just want to make a fucking statement for this motherfucker because he the only one talking like this and this what we want. So we got to accept that if not, we just gonna be like, well, they just cheated us, and I guess we'll run it back and we'll win because hopefully they won't cheat next time. That's not how this works. Anyway, that's my belief. But yeah, so, and when he refuses to hold what should be the next election, I have 3% faith this country, including the folks who voted for him, will do a single thing. And on and off chance he takes his last breath, I doubt just dumb Vance won't install himself. Yeah, I don't know about all that. We'll see. I really don't know what I would not be shocked if they tried to change some election rules. Mm-hmm. But I'm just not giving them they must have cheated. No, they gave the game to a cheater. You know what I'm saying? Like, we playing Monopoly. We know this nigga cheating. They was like, let's let him run the game. That's what the fuck just happened. So if he does cheating, if he goes to cheat after this and rig the system, that is a system that was handed to him by a lot of our fellow country members.
I agree.
FL Duchess 16 says, dear Karen, same girl, same. Rona Raphael says, I believe that all that needed to be said has been said, and extra love to both of you for putting words to the rage within me. However, I just wanted to give a special shout out to Blackout Tips Nation for showing love to my Blue Sky tweet. I think they call them skeeps. Introducing myself to the streets as a Blackout Tips fan. Almost everyone who loved, responded, and followed me had a PhD. I got to cook PhD levels of hustling, a pre-PhD unleashed. I on Blue Sky I did create a Blackout Tips list for fans of the show.
Okay.
So if you want to be added to it, follow the Blackout Tips on Blue Sky. And I think one of our skeets says,
hilarious,
right? One of our skeets says, like, use this hashtag. It's like add to the Blackout Tip Sky or something like that, or whatever. Like, then we will add you. So it's that simple. And then you get to follow a list of cool people that listen to the show. Mm-hmm. Sandler Agnew says, wonderfully said by you two. Love this episode. Wish things are better. But like you said, on pregame about being sober minded about this country, I'm right here with you. I feel much better after November 5th, but it's still hard to just get out of bed and perform my job. And I just hate it. Again, love the show. Keep it up. Yeah, thank you. Glad to be a resource for people in a time like this. Mm-hmm. Silver King says, well, at least y'all taking a week off gave me a chance to catch up. I've been a week behind for almost 3 months now. Rod, I heard you tell one of your other listeners that ads were determined by the algorithm, to which I say that algorithm is a goddamn lie. I be hearing ads for shit that I don't look up on the internet, I don't use, and in some cases I ain't never even heard of. Meanwhile, I ain't heard Nan ad for Arby's yet, which tells me the algorithm be bullshit.
You got your GPS turned on?
Yeah, I don't know that the algorithm looks as far as like what exactly you buy and purchase and stuff, but I mean, it might. But I think it definitely is like, you listen to political podcasts, here's a political ad. And we can only turn off like topics. Like, we can be like, no political ads. But we can't be like only Democrat political ads. So it's either you get to hear a political ad or you don't. You get to hear about some jeans or you don't. So it is what it is. Switching gears to something less funny, one of the things that annoys me the most about how this election went down was a continuation of the bullshit that tried to feed us in 2016. In this specific case, I'm talking about how Kamala was the perfect candidate until she became the candidate. When I was on active duty, one of the things I used to hear all the time was that the only perfect duty station is your next duty station. I'm old enough to remember when people were out here saying they wouldn't vote for Hillary. Oh, but I vote for Kamala though. Word. It's like you and Karen keep saying these motherfuckers will grasp at straws to find any reason why they wouldn't vote for her, except for the obvious racism and sexism. They'll even obfuscate by naming some other woman that they say they would vote for if she were running, just so that it can continue to play in our face like misogyny wasn't a factor. Yeah, Big Gretch is over for her.
Oh yeah.
It's over for her. That's what's so sad about this. People that were like, if we would have ran Big Gretch, well, now you fucking can't deny it. It's obvious. She can't run next time. She got to be VP. That's the glass ceiling for women, apparently, because Kamala Harris, the only woman VP ever. So now the next woman to run got to be VP. It's usually someone who's never accomplished anything in a political career, which in a roundabout way brings it to Jill Stein. The frustrating thing about populism is its tendency to undermine and flat out disregard competence. Not even just disregard, but actually penalize you for it. What people seem to want, or at least what they claim to want, is someone who talks cash shit about the things they would do, like Jill Stein, without having anything on their resume that would support the idea that they could actually get any of this shit done. Jill Stein has never been held elected office. She ain't been nobody's governor. She ain't been nobody's senator. She ain't been nobody's congressman, state assemblyman, mayor, surgeon general, county clerk, nothing. Court clerk, nothing. Not even a dog catcher. And what makes me angry is that seems to be part of what they like about her. The fact that she hasn't ever done anything, which I guess is supposed to mean that her hands are clean, which is an ass backward way of looking at politics from my point of view. It feels like the only people that can be elected president in today's America are people who ain't got no fucking business being president.
Right.
Yeah, you know what's funny though? Trump undermines even this point, right? Because Trump was president. And now they're using him being president as the reason he should be able to be president again. He was president. It wasn't that bad. That's what they're saying. So, like, I would say even that is just a remix of that white supremacist shit of being like, we want to vote for a white supremacist. The first time it was because he has no experience and that's what we need. Now it's, he has experience and she doesn't have enough. We don't even know who she is. Whatever it needs to be is what it will be to support him.
Agreed. And it's one of those things where Hillary Clinton was more smarter, more educated, had more government background. Kamala basically has been in all three branches of the fucking government, and people still said no. Both of these people were overly qualified for the job, and we said no. Well, then my thing is, you can't look me in my eye and tell me it ain't for the fact that she has a vagina and titties that you didn't vote for her. Get out my whole face.
And she black. Kamala was one of the most competent, most qualified, most accomplished presidential candidates of my lifetime. People went out their way to nitpick her career, hold her accomplishments against her. And that's going to happen again on the next candidate that's not a white male, and the next one, and on and on and on. And maybe the most maddening thing about that is that a black woman who's less accomplished than Kamala Harris couldn't even get nominated. There's no black equivalent to Jill Stein that can make it out of a primary. Hell, there isn't even a white woman equivalent to Jill Stein that can make it out of primary. Only white men are allowed to be that mediocre and unaccomplished and still win in this country.
Right.
My comment was running long, so I decided to split it up. Honestly, this changes nothing for me. You might as well have left a comment. Like saying. Now it's just an extra sentence I got to read. Something else that's been bothering me for years is the notion that we should rise up in mass and lead a democratic plantation. First of all, is as if there's any political party that's better for us than the one we spent 60 years as the backbone of. Second of all, the only thing that would accomplish is guarantee GOP rule for the next 200 years. Because conservatives are always going to be united under the common cause of upholding white supremacy. If we organized some sort of Brexit fuck shit and left the Democratic Party, even if we actually were a monolith, the 100% of the black people in this country all joined the same independent political party, that party would not have the numbers to get anything done ever. And instead of general elections being 55% versus 45%, with voter suppression making it seem closer to 50-50, it would be more like 15% versus 40% versus 45%, with voter suppression making it end up being like 10 versus 30. Okay, you got a lot of this is like Nas verse and one. But at least we would have all the power in a completely powerless political party. Is that really something these niggas want? EVE says the results left me so sick to my stomach. I'm hoping Dump's ineptitude will keep him from pulling off some of his most heinous plans. Maybe in next 2 years, Dems can reclaim the House and Senate. Otherwise, it's gonna be a long ass 4 years. I'll just say this: if you want some level of feeling like optimistic and hope for the future, it's some doldrum shit, and maybe this is too dark, and some of y'all won't like this, but the real thing I've only really seen unify people is Republicans winning.
Yep.
Because when Republicans win and they truly do have the authority to govern in every single way that they want to govern, and they actually can pull off some of the shit that they've been threatening to do, all of a sudden motherfuckers get a taste of it and go, oh, I don't like this.
Yep. And then it goes back the other way. But that was happening with the first Bush, the second Bush, all them people like
Reagan.
Yes. Yeah. It's like shit just got so fucked up, whatever. Like, and it was like people don't have short-term memory. They don't give a fuck because if, you know, a lot of people was like, well, you were here 4 years ago. How the fuck you not remember how fucked up the economy was like before? You was here 8 years ago. You ain't forget. You just don't give a fuck. And racism outthinks that logic. So we got to keep going through this fucking back and forth instead of having to continually push forward.
All right, YouTube. Oh, man. Sorry, I'm getting tired. Wendy says, go off, Karen, and thank you. Jim Brat LA says she went off. As Carter says, sad thing, and this will not change my mind, but needs to be noted, is that when and if Black people do not galvanize behind the next Democratic candidate and then they lose again, it will be our fault that they lose. But it's because we are being selfish and petty. We are forever taking for granted and blame. Yeah, but here's the thing about that, guys. Okay, this might change some of y'all view. It might not. I don't give a fuck. They blame us anyway. They blame us when they win. They blame us when they lose. They scapegoat us. When they lose, it's everybody's fault but these fucking white people voting for this shit. Right? Every fucking white boy podcaster got the same bright ass idea after this. Well, we better not run no more Black people and women. That's enough of that. Only white men. And I'm not even mad at them. Because you know who had that idea first? Us. Us Southern Black voters that told y'all need to just fucking run Joe Biden and stop acting like y'all better than this.
Right.
You fucked it up with Hillary. Y'all not better than that. That's who y'all are.
And what did y'all call us? Stupid? And
y'all called us the dumb. Y'all. A lot of niggas actually owe Jim Clyburn a motherfucking apology.
Yes, they do.
A lot of them owe him an apology. They've been talking shit about him and they wrong. He was right. You not gonna win with nobody but this old ass white man. And if it don't happen for him, then it ain't happening.
It ain't happening.
I don't tell you. Wish we had better white people in this country, but we don't. He's the people we stuck with. And so now I'm not even mad at them for being like, it looks like we got to go with a white man. Yeah. We accepted that years ago. We didn't like it, but we accepted it. It's the truth.
Right.
So yeah, anyway, it's funny watching them. Anyway, I don't care if they blame us, is my point. Like, it only bothers you if you care. I don't care. If they come back to this 4 years from now, if there is an election, and they're like, hey, we're going to run this candidate, and it doesn't seem like Black women and Black people are really like jumping up to volunteer and be the backbone of the party this time. What's going on? I'm going to be like, you know what's going on. You got it. Remember?
Right. You
had all the ideas.
Y'all told us we was a problem.
We was in the way. We was inconvenient.
Yeah, we'll vote, but we're not doing the neighborhood reaches. We're not doing none of that shit. They gonna realize.
I'm not saying we're not. That's you saying that. People might do that. There are Black people I know, like Eljoy Williams, who are even more committed to making it happen. I don't expect Black voters matter to like give up their cause now.
No.
So I'm not gonna say we're not gonna do that stuff, because you said it like,
well, put like this, I'm not gonna do it.
You weren't doing that stuff already.
No,
you weren't doing that stuff already. So that's not a loss for them. I'm saying if that comes to happen, Or if they just want to blame us, we don't have to give a fuck. That's all. We don't have to spend any time fighting, going back and forth. Whose fault was this? Whose fault was that? This what y'all need to do. This what y'all should do. We don't need to participate in that. If they want to blame us, then they were going to blame us anyway. So be free, as Carter is what I'm saying. Be free of that burden on your brain. They're going to do it anyway, but it don't make it true. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Agree.
Like, I'm not penalizing them. I don't have any reason to want the Democrats to lose.
Right, I agree.
I don't like it won't help me to see them lose, but we lost. So y'all go through this crisis of coming up with new ideas, realizing that just really the old ideas of going back to whiteness. And I'll go, oh, you met me at the spot that I started at. I've been told y'all should probably just stick with these old white men. Not my number one choice. But if I just want to win, which I've always said I do, that might be what it takes.
Yeah, because y'all learned throwing up this other shit. America as a mass ain't gonna vote. They just ain't gonna go for it. And so it is what it is. And if you want to get these other candidates even being considered, America got to show you that his heart has changed. And so far, it's had like 2 times, and each time it said no.
Usually a lurker, but I had to post. Roderick, you are wonderful, but hats off to Karen's today. That rant is exactly how I feel, said Wendy Days. Elise replied, ditto. Ella says, thank you, Karen, for the 19-minute mark. Someone replied, LOL, which I don't know if they are being a jerk or what, or think it's funny because she put prayer hands for Karen because Karen went off. Joe says, go off, Karen. You told nothing but the truth. The only consolation might be that Republican Party no longer needs a Trump. This is his last term. Now, maybe they can or will go back to regular politicking. They don't have to move lockstep with the devil Trump. Everyone will have to get reelected on their own. I mean, if he doesn't and they don't try to change it so he can run for a third term, or that there's not an election next time. We don't know.
We don't know what they got in store for real, though.
Joe says, also, I love Kamala, but I hope she doesn't run again like Hillary. One day a qualified woman will win, but it won't be her. It seems Kamala should go and live her best life. Ella says, Derek Bell's essay, Space Traders, still rings true. Joe also says, I think Biden might have won. Then he could have stepped down at the inauguration. And we'll never know. They forced him out. Romy says, I wonder if the Dems would fight back if there was something wrong with the vote because they don't want to be like Trump or they don't want to continue division in the country. If there was something wrong with the vote, they would fight. I just don't even understand. Honestly, the kind of coordination it would take to make these people that fought tooth and nail to win this election to stand down, there would be evidence, guys. There would be a memo, a directive, a phone call. Too much shit leaks now. Yeah. Someone would be like Joe Biden on a phone call told Democrats not to challenge it. Y'all do realize also there are challenges, recounts. There's money that was raised for recounts and stuff, just not for the presidential election. Like, it seems pretty obvious what happened. White people wanted to vote for Trump, and they went out and did it. Hey, black woman from NYS, New York State here. Many of us up here that clearly understood what was on the line. Please don't believe all of us up here thought it was going to be a South issue. This flip was playing out since 2020, and this moment will be etched in stone. Unfortunately, this election was about those who want to replace us, striking while the iron was hot. They opened a black hole in this country, and they're going to end up in it. To those who set up and smiled in our faces, welcome to our world.
My thing is this, and I will continue to say this, it's one of these things where if that comment didn't apply to you, don't worry about it. I'm talking to the podcasters, the people I seen online and social media. If you were in a bubble where you didn't see it, don't worry about it. I know what I saw online. I know the harassment, and I do know that people that were very, very safe in these safe liberal places, this is what they were saying online. This may not have been your experience. I get that. But what I'm saying is a true statement, though. Like it don't erase it not being a true statement. You might not be one of the people that might not harbor that. Like you say, you understood the assignment, but a lot of people did not. And a lot of people continue to think they thought they were safe in 2016. That's why Hillary Clinton lost. Like, it's too many people in too many states that just are like, they are under the illusion bad, that they will always be safe and their rights will never be stripped. They are under the illusion that the rest of the country outside of them, fuck them. They are under the illusion that these bumpkins down south with these fucked up ass draconian laws, it is their problem and it ain't mine. Like what I'm saying has always been true about history. It's a lot of times when the people down south migrated up north, it's people up north that thought they were better than the niggas down here. Like they actually looked down upon us because of where they were, and they thought they were quote unquote safe. You know, it took things happening to them to realize, oh, we're not safe either. You ain't never been safe, dog. You ain't never been safe. You're under the illusion that you are safe. And that's not everybody up there. I understand some people do understand, but some people are really under the illusion because they quote unquote not from that they are safe and they're not. That's all I'm pointing out. I'm just pointing out the truth.
Lucky Eagle says black people are team black people now, and that's the silver lining. As a New Yorker, what you're saying about the safe states are true as cancer. It looks different here, but it's the same disease. Black people shouldn't give up the fight. We should just stop fighting for anyone who is not us. But how much do you think the trans agenda affected folks voting for Trump? I'm a real full real Democrat, and I can't stand that agenda. I still voted for Harris, but I know there are lots of people who want to keep mentally ill men out of women's spaces. Most of the vote was racism, but do you think part of it was anti-trans? I like how you like, I'm anti-trans, and isn't that why they lost? And I can't wait until they start deporting these Latinos and Asians for Trump. Asians already destroyed affirmative action. There's going to be a lot of slow swinging and flower bringing when ICE starts ringing. They're going to hurt. We're going to hurt as black people, but you hurt first. Here's what I would say to everything you just said. The anti-trans stuff may have emboldened a certain type of voter and may have kept a certain type of voter from voting for Democrats. I can't say that it didn't. But even your characterization of this is anti-trans. So you just agree with the anti-trans shit, but you voted for Kamala despite that. That's basically what you're saying. Like mentally ill men out of women's spaces is a very like loaded way to put all this stuff, right? And it's never about trans women, right? Or trans men, right? It's never like, we're never worried about a person with a vagina physically, but identifying as a male outwardly coming into a male bathroom. We're never worried about that, right? So it's not really about fairness or any of this stuff. It's not about danger. If we were worried about danger, you wouldn't have put a fucking rapist in the White House and then appointed a bunch of people that sexually assaulted folks. So
right.
Hard for me to believe that you care about women and it's all that stuff. You guys are just weirded out about trans people existing, and there's a lot of transphobia that's coming out. I don't know how much it affected any of it. I don't, and we'll never know. That's just the facts. I don't know how many people truly voted on that. It's just a lot easier to believe that it wasn't the trans agenda stuff because you look down ballot, right? You look down ballot. Other Democrats who also are pro LGBTQ, who are pro inclusivity, who are pro go live your life, they won. Now, why did they win? Why did they win? Because they stand for the same shit. It was not a referendum on the party. The party didn't lose everything. They won a lot. They just didn't win like there's a certain office they just couldn't win. In the swing states and the purple states, they won a lot. So I don't know that it's the trans stuff or whatever. I mean, it might have been affected, but we'll never know. And I think the whole point is that, and I think what's funny, you're saying this about trans people. White people are saying this about your black ass. The white Democrats are like, you know what really fucked us up was this black shit. Like, we need to get rid of these black people. Let them go fend for themselves. Go be team black people doing their own thing and leave us alone. Leave us back to our party. We don't care about your issues and we don't want you. And that's why the Democrat coalition falls apart. It's not the politicians, it's the voters. It's y'all. Y'all ain't got it. You're not heroes. You know, fundamentally, it's a bunch of selfish people that just care about their own shit, their own community, and they can't stomach trying to just coexist with other folks.
Right.
Now, I'm not, at the end of the day, I'm not putting you in the like, you're a bad Democrat person. You are actually an example of what needs to happen for Democrats to win. You voted for Kamala despite being transphobic. I can't change your heart and your mind, but you were willing to at least be like, this gives black people or myself the best chance at a better country. And if that means trans people also get to have rights, I guess I'll pull the lever for Kamala. They need to figure out that math. If there's a path to winning, it has to be with that math. What is it that other people roll their eyes at? Because white Democrats roll their eyes at all this, we don't need police and black people getting killed, Black Lives Matter. They roll their eyes at that bullshit. They call that identity politics. Right? Gay people roll their eyes at transgender. There's gay people who are like, but this trans thing is crazy. But you need to pull that lever. You know, there's a bunch of people that don't like immigrants who are like, yeah, but nah, I'm in a union and I want my union job. They need to figure out how to trick people's minds into seeing that logic and not this other logic where it's like, Trump say he don't like trans people, I'm with him. And I don't know how they fix that. But anyway, I don't think it was that what caused them. I just think that's what people want you to think. And Nagwal says, hey, Rod and Karen, as always, I love the show. I appreciate your coverage of the election. And while I was very, very angry with the results because I was hopeful, I know I did my part. I voted, donated, volunteered, and talked to anyone who would listen about VP Harris. I'm proud of the campaign that she ran, proud of my participation in, and my spirit is free. The results were not surprising because I know how the country operates. But now all pretenses are off. I'm not going to entertain any reasons for why he won other than people could not accept that a black woman would be in charge. People would rather tear it all down. Now have to accept leadership from a black woman, and to his supporters, voting for Trump is patriotic because to them, America is whiteness. If it cannot be for whiteness, then the whole thing should be set to flames. Yep. Black people are characterized as low information voters in the media, but in my opinion, black people are some of the most politically astute people in the country.
We have to be.
We are infantilized in political conversations sometimes. To me, though, it seems awfully immature and petulant to want to burn something to the ground when you don't get your way. And this is exactly what the other side was prepared to do. Finally, I would love a deep dive into the win with black women / men movements. Apologies for the long post. Thanks again. I don't know. I think maybe Roland Martin and them could do a deep dive into that. I wasn't really part of those movements. Not that I was against them.
Right.
But I wasn't deep enough into it to give you any perspective that you wouldn't get from the surface.
Right.
Quiet Storm says, woo, you guys are correct. 3 heart emojis. Mel P says, just saw TikTok video stating that swing states use Smart Link to tally votes. Yeah, that's the conspiracy that they want you to think happened. And I'm just saying they did not tally votes with Smart Link. They just communicated the numbers. They have backups for the numbers locally in the machines. And they always had the evidence with the physical ballot. So once again, if those discrepancies were like if the discrepancy was we sent 3 million votes to Space Link or Smart Link or whatever, and Smart Link reported 3,300,000 votes, and those 300,000 extra votes all went to Trump, then yeah, somebody would have caught that, looked into it, and we would be fighting in courts right now. I just don't think that happened because I don't think anyone's fucking dumb enough, or not even dumb enough. Pardon the parlance. I think y'all think Democrats are just like pussies. Like they just like, I guess they stole it. They not. They not gonna let this man steal an election. They not. That's the whole point of 2020. That's why all these motherfuckers in jail now. That's why they had all these trials. They're fighting. Our system is fucked up. It's not really designed to prosecute and fight this shit in a fast fashion. The loopholes and his appointment of judges allowed it to be delayed enough for him not to face the consequences of trying to steal an election.
Right.
But a lot of people they made it so he didn't have to steal an election. That's just the facts. Karen, that anger is so many of us. Thank you, Rob. Beautifully spoken words. XM126 says extreme Vez. Big Tone says, I turned my living room into a mini gym because I've been boxing since I was in 6th grade. At the AP called election for Trump, I was so fired up, I worked my punching bag for an hour at least. Roderick, in my soul, I believe this election was the finesse of the century, and I stand by that. Well, y'all got to believe what y'all got to believe, bro. Callie Bruh says, Karen, I feel what you're saying, that the black people in the South are once again supposed to shit together, not the South itself, like the racist bike motherfuckers, but the black democratic, down the earth, liberal thinking, fair-minded, smart people with black people. I don't understand what this sentence means. I don't understand. He also wrote back, white people, Mexican people, children people, all these people in the country made this decision based on what they think they are getting and what the white people are losing out on, all based upon money. To think that Trump disrespected that young girl who was raped and killed in Portland, Texas, and said, why the hell do you spend that much money on her funeral? She's not worth that much. They went ahead and voted for him anyways. Okay. In the Star Bright says the Democrats can win if the top of the ballot is a white person, preferably a white man. And A Classic responded, that's why I don't see why people are surprised it wasn't Harris when Hillary couldn't have got that position. He also said, thank you. I didn't think Joe Biden should have stepped down either. It needed to be a white man off, and Joe Biden knew it. It's why he was reluctant to step down, because I think he knew the white working class supporter. I was never worried about old Joe because Kamala was his second. If Joe falters his second term, Kamala steps in. Nigga, you're taking the words out of my soul. The Mr. Knight says, I've been rocking with you two a long time. Y'all are shining light in the darkness. Never change, right, and carrying my fave step cousins. Daddy Girls left a lot of comments. Let's see. I've been praying that they're investigating the fraud because I'm tired of being mean to white people. No decorating, just drinking heavily. Now decorating is drinking heavily. She was giving us like a running
tab.
Karen, yes, in that order. Project 2025 should have been on the news daily. Black men always have our back. White people spat in our faces. The plan, Project 2025. Yes, I didn't want Biden to drop out, but everyone pulled out funding. Yep. These streets is certified platinum rod. Got them bars. Straight fire on the mic. That's such a random. Thank you, Christoph. Someone just said all facts to a certain point in the podcast. The donors pulled funding from Biden. The billionaires didn't want Biden anymore. This is the biggest reason he got shanked by Pelosi and the rest of the party leaders. That's facts. Tiffany said, I'm still devastated by VP Harris's loss. I've been through a range of emotions. The peace we feel as black men and women, knowing we always show out on the right side of history, but that we no longer need to go as hard right now. They did this to themselves. Let them find out. The petty glee I feel, which is always inevitably followed up by a strong rage of MAGA or Republicans with voters' remorse. Finally, Googling, how can I change my vote? Is Project 2025 real or terrorist bad? It really does feel like screaming into the void when people have the nerve to be that uninformed. The disgust I feel with feeling like we got duped by all the supporters that said they got us. The vindication when the Project 2025 writers exposed that it really was the plan, and confusion that it still feels like fraud somewhere to me, and that math ain't mathing. We would probably stop using that phrase soon. Just really fits right now. Like you said, Rod, I would love to discover that something nefarious happened. It would make more sense than what we're seeing right now. More than anything, I'm happy to spend time with those I love and do my best to push through what's to come. We are strong. We're just hoping to move past where we are. Riss says, you expressed the sentiment I feel. My grandfather was a sharecropper and my dad grew up picking cotton, and he was the type that wouldn't even let us do yard work. In 2016, the first time this happened, it really impacted him because he could see his grandchildren's futures were in danger. He passed away from cancer he developed from Agent Orange poisoning during COVID, and I'm glad he isn't here to see this. My main concern is the future for our kids because they are so young and aren't being raised in the hood like we were. So they are going to be shocked by what we are about to endure. I'm in California. There's a good deal of veiled racism here that has only become more overt since that man won the election. I'm disappointed, but not surprised by the exit polls because the amount of anti-blackness in these communities have always been through the roof. Me personally, I'm not talking to anyone at work except for my black coworkers, some others who are in the trusted group. Already selective about who was around my child, but even more so now that he is not anyone exception. My family is planning in case the absolute worst and minding our black business. Turskine says, Karen, you're spot on at the 19-minute mark. A lot of people didn't feel enough of the pain the last time. It feels like they were gambling the election. And right, you're right. Accountability seems to be one-sided for sure. The Republicans have played the long game for sure, and they have been clear about what they stand for many years. And this new administration in particular is not interested in representing everybody. Many of these westernized countries are empires, and the systems in place seem to solidify the status quo. Rod, spot on at 236. Obama did what he had to do, and he knew what he had to do because he understood and understand in a very real way what America is. Both of you take your rest as needed. Thanks. BK Beauty says, y'all say everything I was feeling. Karen hit the nail on the head for real. People fucked around. Now it's time to find out. That's all the comments. The poll is, did this election cycle take a lot out of you personally? 91% said yes, and about 9% said nah. Shout out to that 9%. I don't know what
y'all made out of.
Y'all did that. I did not do that. It took a lot out of me. Mm-hmm. Just reading y'all's comments just now took a lot out of me.
Time for a break.
Yeah, I'll play a little bit of music. And drink some water, guys. All right, the next episode is Cakes, episode 3009. Let's see. Classic Appia says, I don't care who regrets what. Everything was clear in the open and will be mad forever at anyone who voted for him. You knew what you did, person. Classic R&B lover says, exactly, Appia. They voted about hatred for others and fucked themselves in the process. What's that old saying about when you dig a grave for someone else, make sure you dig one for yourself? I don't want to hear about any boo-hoos or buyer's remorse. To Appia replied, that's what I thought too. You want a hateful person in charge who only hates others, but it's nice to you, even that you belong to a marginalized group. This is like befriending a scorpion in this story with the river or marrying an abuser. It's not working. You are not so special. Class R&B lover says, right again, I'm with Karen. I will vote yes. Will I phone bank, contribute to campaigns, talk to people about voting? No. The bare minimum is all you get from me and this day forward. Good luck, America. You will get exactly what you deserve. You like it? I love it. All empires eventually fall. The country will continue to stand like Greece and Rome, etc. But once their roles as a major power broker of the world left, it did not return. It is what it is. Abby says, I think this is the only way to keep some sanity. What I also thought is, imagine there is no presidential campaign from any side, only maybe the week before, like it was forbidden to campaign or something. The results will be pretty much the same because in America, the winner takes all system. That's how it works. One side will win or the other without spectacle. So I think consuming less of the spectacle is an act of rebellion. And of course, voting the same way in the end. This is not a both sides argument, is the system is bad argument. Yeah, I think what's interesting is like, there's going to be a lot less people tuning in to cable news and stuff. And I know cable news thought they were going to get a boost from the Trump administration. They've even been reporting these appointments, these cabinet appointments and the machinations there within, and nobody gives a fuck. Like the ratings are down because I think people are protecting their sanity and they're like, I know how bad it was going to be. I was watching y'all because I thought y'all knew how bad it was going to be.
Right.
And so I don't need to tune in to hear Matt Gaetz is up or down or out or in. I don't need to know. Like I can read it in the paper, on Twitter or Blue Sky, where, but I'm not helping you benefit off of my panic again.
Right. I think a lot of people learn from this election, and also it's one of the things I've I've said, and I will stick by this. Some of these cable news companies are satisfying no one. You had a base, you changed what you were doing to reach to a base that you never had, and they were never coming over there because they got their extremism, and this was not you. So then you turn off the some of the handful of people stopped watching from last election. It was like, I'm out. Those people not coming back, and then your coverage continued to move more and more to the right. So eventually people are like, why am I here? And when the election comes, people are like, I'm here just to be informed. And when the election ended, they go, I don't have a reason to be here no more. There's I don't need to panic anymore because now I know what the result is. I think before, people's anxiety, really not understanding and just watching. And then when he got elected, people go, oh, I've been through this shit before. I don't like right to say, I don't need for you to tell me some shit that I can get somewhere else now. I might still panic, but I won't be panicking watching you.
I mean, there was only one legitimate candidate running for president. She was the one I wanted 4 years ago, so no regrets for my vote, says Sean, because a poll was about regretting your vote. Mary says, thank you, Rod and Karen, for continuing to cover the post-election news. I appreciate both the pragmatic coverage as well as the opportunity to get the frustration out. Karen, I'm still mad they made Biden step down. Anyway, Rod, the thought you put into the commentary on what this election was a backlash to had me thinking something I've thought before. Rod, you are a public intellectual. Your medium is unconventional, but you are nonetheless a unique voice that can translate complex ideas into an accessible way. This is one reason why The Blackouts is my favorite podcast. Keep up the good work. Thank you. That's very nice of you to say.
Not that public intellectual over there.
Obvious says, I agree. Rona Raphael says, on the public intellectuals, put that on the t-shirt, Rod, or better, a plaque. I say we get the Nobel people on it. Well, now that Rona Raphael said it, I feel like it's a scam.
Me too. He trying to hustle. I don't know now.
He gonna try to sell me the plaque or some shit. I don't know. Nah, but I thank you. I thank you. I don't. It's so funny, man, because even people that mean well, it's just, this is how caked in all this shit is. Like with, like, not just white supremacy, but like what we value in America, what we value in society. I've never been curious about or really wanted a certain type of validation. And it's probably ultimately hurt my standing in general. Like, I could probably be a bigger deal. And I'm not saying that I've like arrogance or just like some sort of like entitlement or whatever you call it. Like, and if you feel like it's just an ego thing, then feel free to dismiss what I'm saying. But I am 100% certain I could be a bigger deal.
Yeah, if you want it to be.
The same way I was certain I could be good at writing for a TV show. Like, if it's like, and it's not disrespect to the people that do that work. I'm really good at stuff if I want to put my mind to it and I want to achieve it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a dog. I'm one of them ones. I'm all that shit.
You ain't dogmatic, is you?
Okay, I'm rare. I'm all that shit. But I think my value system is set up that I really don't covet a lot of that stuff. And as I get older, I realize, oh, if you covet those things, though, there's a level of respect people, no matter how well intended they want to be, there's a level of respect that comes with that like pat on the back, that touch on the head, that knighting, you know, on the shoulder from whiteness. Meaning, if we had been lobbying to get a podcast award for the last 16 years, we've been going to the official podcast award group every year, like, nominate us. We're a black podcast. We're probably the longest running black podcast fucking in existence ever. You know what I mean? If we were like, and we're still fucking going. We need our fucking award. We need to be on that stage. We need to say our piece. We need to give our fucking speech. Yeah, you should hear from our expertise. We made this happen when nobody was making it happen, especially for black people. Not saying nobody was before us, nobody else could be successful, but we have done it.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I've never really gave that much of a fuck. They send an email every year like, hey, give us some money and maybe you should go out for this award. And I'll be like, so you can take my money and then we don't get the award.
Right.
And then you ask me for some more money the next year.
I'm good.
You know what I mean? I just haven't wanted certain things. I'm not saying I'm not. I do wonder if those things hurt me. I've never wanted to like write a best-selling book. I probably could, and it's not to say it's not hard.
Yes, you could.
But I'm really that talented. I could do it. You know, even after the TV shit, it's like people, what you gonna do next? You gonna write a TV show? You gonna do? I don't really want to. I don't want to do that. I like what I do. I like doing this podcast. Mm-hmm. I could write a TV show. Yes, I can write a sketch comedy show. I can do a lot of stuff. It's why I'm so good when people ask me to do things for them or with them, and they're like, "Wow, you're really good at this. You could do this." I could. I don't want to. So yeah, it might hurt because I've never really wanted to be like, I've never taken the steps to be like, what do I need to do to be on TV next to Bill Maher with him getting on my motherfucking nerves? But at least I'm on TV and people go, you know, that Rod Maher, he's a pretty sharp guy. He's a public intellectual. You know what I mean? Like, what would it take for me to be one of these motherfuckers on CNN that zooms in and tells y'all what the white people need to do? I just don't want it bad enough. I'm happy. And I think maybe y'all thinking that is cool enough for me to be like, oh, okay, some people really respect the things I say and they think I'm thoughtful and they recognize this, but you know, it's never gonna go as viral as other people. It's never gonna get as many listeners or followers as other people. Yeah. And that's okay, because I don't necessarily want the hassle of that anyway.
Yeah, and also it's one of those things where we're satisfied, and sometimes kind of the world and society and everything always make you think you got to be bigger, you got to be bigger, you got to be large. Like they put pressure on you to grow sometimes when you like, I don't actually care about the shit that y'all think I should care about. Like those things don't move me, nor do they matter to me. And I agree. If you sit down and really put your mind to it, yes, I 100% agree. And also the thing is, you like a certain type of lifestyle, and when you start doing these, they kind of impact the things you can do. And not like people fail to realize it's more to it than just I'm larger. Now I have to sacrifice. My time has to be divided up and go among other places. And you're like, no, I like this. I am.
Also, it just depends on what kind of shit you want to do.
Yeah, with your life, yes.
You know, like I'm okay driving an old car. You know,
it's like, paid for. Yeah,
it's just certain shit that you just gotta want it a different way. And people are kind of hypocritical because people will say you don't need those things, but they all want those things. They chase those things. People will say you shouldn't need validation from an award show or whatever. And they're right. But let you get in an argument with them about music. God damn if they don't bring up who won the Grammy that year. So people kind of lie to themselves and say like it don't matter, but it does matter. If we were a podcast that had won several awards and whatever the fuck we had, you know, whenever it's like when we got on Spotify and there was like a group of people that don't really listen to our show, but suddenly they were congratulations, and they saw us as like a real platform. Like, oh, now I want to be down with you guys.
Right.
That's because Spotify represents whiteness, which represents a level of approval that says you guys are legitimate.
Right.
And you weren't when you were just being a black independent space. You were not legitimate.
Right.
And now you count.
Right.
So my personal makeup is one that goes, the Spotify deal, we were the same people there. We were the same people before, and we'll be the same people after. And I'm okay with that.
Me
so,
too.
Maybe I'll change. Maybe one day I'll look up and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna go get this bread. I'm about to go all out. I'm gonna do all the shit that they tell you to do to be a big name, but I don't know. It's been 45 years. I don't want that yet. So
yeah, and at the end of the day, you actually have to because the thing is, you have to get up every day. So it's like, am I happy with this? And that's something that you have to be kind of truthful with yourself about. And so, you know, for me, I do 100% agree with you. And we've always said we ain't trying to get everybody. We just want the cool people. And a lot of times when you have that kind of a motto, because we're not actually reaching out to everybody's welcome to come.
Yeah.
But we know we're not going to reach everybody.
Yeah, it's not, like I said, it's just a different mentality. It's not, I'm not judging anybody, and hopefully they're not judging me. It's just I'm cool and I'm happy. And one thing about my fitness, like losing weight and gaining muscle and all this stuff I've been doing, whatever I decide to do is right for me. And so and I'm open, my mind's always open, so something could happen. I mean, look, I wrote a TV show, so something could happen. Like someone could come to me and be like, "Hey man, listen, you need to do this thing, and this is a great opportunity, and this is how we're gonna help you accomplish it." I'm not against it. You know, Drapetomaniacs was a situation that kind of just like fell in my lap, and I loved it. I loved doing that work.
That was fun.
It was not work I would have thought to do if no one had asked.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just a validation thing is the part that public intellectual and activists and all these labels people put on each other. It's the validation that they need from that. I just try not to need that. I don't want to ever need that. I don't want people to feel like I feel like there's a certain type of person that feels like I need to be called a public intellectual, and I wake up in the morning, I need that. Whereas I'm like, I don't know, I feel like I'm in the public and I'm intellectual. So
right.
Y'all do the math. All right. So Rona Raphael says, I don't mean to sound this way, but it's technically still pumpkin spice season. The breakdown of the pushbacks to Joe Rogan's and Dave Chappelle's. God damn, that was deep. That's why this the number one numero uno numerines podcast in the world. Take that to the bank, to the World Bank. I love y'all. You made my day, especially my meal tastes good all day. Anytime I think about this breakdown. Damn, you're good. And Wakandan accent, give this podcast an award. Sign up for the full package. If you ever turn grifter, I don't know if I could be mad. Laugh my ass off. Arby's, bring the money here. Michael says, I echo the thanks for continuing to cover the election and the fallout. Like Karen, I made the decision for my mental health to step back from paying attention to the news every day, but I agreed that it's important to still stay informed. Getting this news with a spoonful of honey, of hearing you both give your thoughts, makes it a lot more bearable to hear. Thanks for making the best podcast in the world. Sean says, I'm not sure I would call what Joe Rogan does having a conversation rather than letting idiots rant. Also, it's easier to let idiots rant on the right because they feel hate speech is acceptable. I just feel like you agreeing with me, but then you put having a conversation in quotes, like I wasn't putting it in quotes in my brain when I said it out loud. Y'all knew what I meant. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Sean. When I said they have conversations over there, you know, having a conversation is always in quotes. I even said it several times by saying the conversation, which you definitely know is in quotes. It's implied, my nigga. It's a TM on the end of that bitch. It's trademark. Anyway, I would like to see the media on the left be much better at being educational, informative, and open. At the individual level, I find people on the left are willing to allow people to learn and to have actual conversations much more so than people on the right. However, I think the image of the liberal and public media is much more of an issue than actual liberals. I agree on the individual level. I agree wholeheartedly. I disagree with the framing that is just the image of the liberal and public. No, let's not gaslight each other. I've experienced it, and I guarantee you've experienced it, Sean. Matter of fact, low key, you kind of one of them. How many times you write into this podcast to like correct some little thing or to reframe something that we kind of already expressed in a way that us being great communicators, thousands of episodes are, it doesn't really need to be reframed, but you would like to get your point in too. So you kind of reframe it and go, what about this and what about that? I'm not against that. I read your comments every time. I welcome it. You're part of our conversation that we have here at the Blackout Tips. The thing is, the Blackout Tips is not really indicative of a lot of left of center podcasts and conversations. There's a lot more allowed here for like, okay, you said this thing, let's break it down. And even me and Karen, I feel like we're rigid compared to what happens on the other side. We're a lot more rigid than conservatives. Conservatives let you come on there and say some wild fucking shit that they disagree with, by the way. They will let you say that wild shit just to kind of later try to find some common ground, because the only thing they care about is the numbers and getting you on their side. If they can find your whatever it is, your one thing that you don't like about the liberals or them or whoever's telling you what to do, they will allow you to stay and wholeheartedly disagree. They will have I've seen it. Joe Rogan will have a white supremacist on this podcast, and a week later have a hotep on this podcast. A hotep and a white supremacist don't actually agree on much. If they sat down and said the reasoning for why they got to their stances, they would completely be a Venn diagram where the circles don't touch. But if you only concentrate on the stances they arrived at,
right,
we need to be separate from each other. No interracial mingling. Mm-hmm. Now these motherfuckers cooking with grease.
On both sides.
That's what they do over there. Liberal people, we're a lot different. We're like, we can have a Venn diagram where we are mostly in that circle together. But then you express some transphobia to me, I'm like, get the fuck out my circle, bitch. Whereas to win, you actually need that person to go, yeah, I'm transphobic, but I'm a vote Democrat. And you need to be able to go, that's good enough for me, fuck it. Because trans people gonna get rights, you just ain't gonna like it. But at least you didn't vote against their rights. I, as a black person in America, have been on that page of like, I know these motherfuckers is racist towards me. Mm-hmm. I just don't live there. Mm-mm. You know what I'm saying? Like, they racist, and they know, we all know they racist. They feel I'm more comfortable. Okay, a lot of black people move in my neighborhood. I'll see if I can get my kid in a private school. Maybe I don't know about going to public school anymore. Oh, maybe we can drive Jonathan to the bus. You know, maybe don't want to catch the bus. It's getting a little dark out here in the suburbs. We've been having to coexist like that. And I just go, well, as long as the motherfucker don't vote against my rights, they can drive little Jonathan to the goddamn school, think it's saving them from racism. Well, you know, they can move out the neighborhood and to the white side of town. But collectively, we need to vote together. That's the point I'm making. Them conservative motherfuckers are desperate and they don't give a fuck about the principles. Mm-mm. Oh, you anti-vaccine? Good. Yeah, come on. Yeah, that's enough. They not gonna go down your list and be like, wait, but aren't you pro-gay marriage? They not gonna, they just like, no, that's care. Cool. It's like, I'm pro-gay marriage, but I'm anti-vaccine. Yeah, sure, whatever. Well, I mean, come on in the party, whatever. Put the hat on. I don't give a fuck. That's how they get down. That's why they had that majority. And we erode people because our people tap out.
Yes, we do.
I didn't get my one thing. All right. I would get my one thing, but it's not going to be completely 100% my one thing. And then other people going to get their thing. And I don't want them to get their thing. I'm going to stay home. That's why we lose.
Yep.
When CNN is considered left of center based on what I've seen, they tend to lean center right. And Harris has to be flawless while Trump can be lawless, to paraphrase Van Jones. Not paraphrasing Van Jones. It is very difficult media environment for centrists or leftists to move forward. I agree with that, Sean, completely. And thank you for allowing me to re-illustrate my point. Because I'm not, when I say having conversation, it's in quotes every time. It's not, I'm not genuinely saying conservatives are having conversations. I think I pointed out many times, as I said, it's not a real conversation. It's just that our side has we don't even fucking have the illusion of conversation many times. Like, we are so like obsessed with, well, we act like we're having conversation, but we're telling you what the fuck you gonna do and think. And if you don't, you gotta get the fuck out. But we're polite about it. We make it seem like, hey, we listen. Gentle. We didn't listen. Get the fuck out. And I'm one of them. So I am a get the fuck out person. Now, luckily for y'all, I'm not in charge of the Democratic planning of the party or any of this shit. Because the party be small as fuck if Rob was in charge.
I'm not in charge of nothing.
You know, if I had to put my personal picadillos at the front of nobody's getting in. I'm a very rigid motherfucker. But if I had to run the party and that was my job, I'll have to look the other way on a lot of shit.
Yep.
There'd be some pro-life Democrats that would be in the party if I had to run it. Because I know what the numbers are.
Right.
Joe Manchin is in the party if I have to run it, because if not, it's just a Republican seat. Everyone got fed up with that and went home. Not everyone, but enough.
Right.
That we ended up with this bullshit. EV says anyone who claims they regret their vote is lying or extremely stupid. They know the first term was like, but they didn't care. So even though most of us will suffer, I hope they suffer the most. Fuck them. I hear you, girl. All right, on YouTube, did we get any comments on this one? Okay. It's funny how, like, now that I read 67 comments, I'm like, 8 ain't shit.
We can do 8.
JV City heart emoji, thank you. Juanita says the elephant in the room is the black woman. Yep. Rebecca says consequences, laughing emoji, then crying emoji.
It do make you want to laugh and cry.
Juanita says, Rod, I felt the same way when I saw these commercials. Stay tuned for more inhumane incidents. Yep. CPJ Morgan says, oh my God, thank you for keeping us laughing through all this foolishness. Appreciate y'all. Yep. Donatillo 3506 says that thing that burns my grits is how the same people who said she was going to win, had an analysis of why she lost the next day. How can I take them seriously when they were so confident yesterday? Take a week or two to think about it. Get some numbers, then come back with coherent analysis. Right. That's why I didn't want to do a show the day after and shit. I didn't have nothing for y'all.
Regardless of who won or who lost, I was gonna have to decompress. Like, it was just too much.
Yeah, I mean, if she won, I might have came on. I would have been talking shit too. I ain't gonna lie. It wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have been any more informed if she won. By the way, I just would have been out here like you know. Gina Dow says, "Thank you for the conversation about having a conversation in quotes." See what I'm saying, Sean? Gina knew I was speaking with the quotes around it. She didn't need to correct it. She understood. I always put quotes around it. I know what I'm doing. Thousands of episodes. Nigga, I'm a public intellectual. Okay?
Oh, shit.
The people know.
I think Mary named you that, public intellectual. Let's go.
I'm getting the shirt. I listened to the article saying so many young men voted for Dump because they felt talked down to and like they were being blamed for being men. But where's the line between coddling the supposed economic anxiety and protecting ourselves? I'm tired of being an alligator in the river with scorpion on the back, hoping for better angels when they don't have any. Gina, I'm with you. I two things are happening at once for me. I accept that people felt this way, so they like, I'm going to go vote for Trump. Fuck y'all. I accept that is how they felt. I don't give any credence or value to the fact they some bitch ass niggas. That's just what it is. Two things got to exist at once. Y'all went over there because your fifis was hurt because you didn't like the Me Too movement and you don't like the way people talk to you. You didn't like people say Google it instead of like sitting down and sending you the fucking I'm just a Bill video for the 17th time. You didn't like that people ultimately said, hey, this thing with Palestine is only going to be worse. You got to pick the lesser of evils. Well, I'm tired of it. Okay. Your feelings got hurt and you walked away. And this was the result.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand that that's what happened. I don't have to have a lot of respect for it. Mm-mm. And it ain't my job to rebuild the Democratic Party or whatever else people are phrasing this as.
Nope.
So it really shouldn't matter that I'm like, whatever, because I'm definitely like, whatever.
Yeah, I just don't care.
The poll, do you regret your voting decision this year? 1% of people said yes, 95% said no, and 3% said I couldn't legally vote in this election. All right. I wonder who that one person was.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, the next episode is the New York AO Maz, but I need to go pee. We've been going so long, guys. So I'm gonna play one of these beats.
What a breaks got to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be playing. I'm gonna play one of these beats, and then we're gonna come back. Hopefully less than a minute or two, because I gotta pee, everybody. I'm sorry. All right, man, that was a lot of pee. All right, here we go, guys. Episode 310, the New York AO Moms. 3 comments. Ronald Raphael says Karen was right about I'm divorced being a line. Although Secret Services isn't DOD, back when I was stationed in the Middle East, there were quite a few entanglements that always began thanks to a sailor claiming to be divorced or going through a separation. An OG used it on my last boss, and she asked me what I knew about him. I had zero clue if he had been married in his life not to talk about divorce. It did backfire a couple times and made the Navy Times. White, Black, Latino, Asian sailors all use the line too. Oh, the scandals. Maybe I should have an app for that market. Though Through the Fire is back. They got to play that song at the wedding, so Jonathan Majors can unleash the sweat. No. Won't Kane do it? Here's the thing, Ronald Raphael. I'm divorced is not a line. I stand by that. I put that on everything. Because a lie is not a line, nigga. Now, you be lying a lot when you write up here because you be hustling and scheming. So you might think it's a line. That's just a lie. That's it. A line is, oh, does your back hurt? Because it must have been a long fall from heaven because you are an angel or some shit like that is a line. You know? Did those legs go all the way to the top? That's a line. I'm divorced is just a nigga lying about not being divorced. What? Them ain't my kids is not a line.
Yeah.
You a liar. You a bad person.
You know them your kids?
Like, what are you doing? That's my sister. Wow, this guy. What a clever pickup line. No, it's cheater. Rona Raphael says, I was waiting for the cookout music to drop after Alan Lichtman. You let me down, Rod. Or Kang wouldn't. Ask Megan Good. And don't he got a middle name? Invite Alan Lichtman in. He can sit right next to me. Abby says, you have a point, but it was explained to me that this music is for doing the least, and he did more. Exactly. Abby understand the show. A white woman from Germany putting you to shame. Have I mentioned that I will be mad forever? The patriarchy is sticking back. Yep. Let's see. Comments on YouTube. Cue the song Karen Be Knowing. Karen Be Knowing says Christoph at the 36 minute and 20-second mark. Don't know what was happening at that mark. Let's see what was happening. Oh, we were talking about Alan Lichtman. And what did he say? Oh, I gotta put it on screen so y'all can hear it. Hold on. Y'all be giving me work. All right, 36-20. So it's somewhere around here.
That before, and I've studied politics since the founding, and we saw Biden's approval rating plummet as they were doing that. I think that extended beyond Biden to weaken any Democratic candidate since they're
okay. Yep. Karen do be knowing. She did say. We said. JV City just said heart emoji. Big Tom says, I'm not declaring Trump the winner until Harris calls for a recount. Something stinks in this election, fam. Real talk. Yeah, y'all finna be like that for the rest of y'all lives. Good luck.
Good luck with
I
that.
moved on already. They say he won, he won. I can accept it, and I can accept this country is what it is. Ayo Moms, aka Nick City Dancers, put some respect on my hometown, says BK Beauty. Oh, they called the Nick City Dancers?
I've never heard that.
That's it? That's kind of whack. Oh, shout out to my former coworker, Elena, who she listened to this episode and she said the Utah jazz dancers should be called the Salt Lake City Sister Wives.
That's fucking hilarious.
She's so funny. That's why I loved working with her. She's hilarious. Karen saying beautiful gals in response to Jonathan and Megan's engagement was hilarious. Hashtag spirit animal says none of your biz. Rashad says that through the fire clip gets me every time.
Baby, I don't know why, because it's always unexpected. It just
Through the fire.
Yes.
Tiffany Cherie says I 100% agree with that white man. Quoting Karen, she says Karen is the GOAT.
I do. He is white.
All right, and the poll was: do you celebrate National Unfriend Day? Yes, 7%. No, 31%. Everyone is Unfriend Day. Every day is Unfriend Day over here. 62%.
I mean, that's 62%.
Yeah, you could get it any day. I don't need to celebrate the holiday.
Yeah, I don't even be there that often. But if I see something that ain't right, I'm like, you can go.
If you got the spirit in you, you know it's Christmas every day for me. All right, let's get to the next one. 3011, Kang and Coretta, an antebellum affair. 8 comments. Shoe Booty says, see, I thought the controversy in White People News and Dave Collier was going to be, fuck that guy. He was dating Alanis Morissette when she was a teenager. He was allegedly the guy she wrote You Ought to Know About. Yeah, that would require competence in white people that me and Karen.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry to let you down. We don't know that.
Mm-hmm. Here's what you will get a kick out of, Shoe Booty. I knew that Dave Collier had dated some white woman who wrote an angry song about him that was a big deal. But since I am so inept in white culture, I Googled Dave Collier, Sheryl Crow.
We don't know, y'all. Chad, I don't be knowing nothing.
Yeah.
All of them blending together and looking like sometimes. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know white people.
News. And I don't even feel so bad. I think me and Roger was at a Hornets game and one of the players came up. Me and Roger, no. It was somebody that was there. They was like rapper, actor, producer. And me and Roger looked at each other and said, who? And they had him up there as big as day. I said, I have no idea who that nigga is. So y'all, I don't be knowing nobody.
I cried laughing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? like, we need to stay away from these niggas.
I don't be knowing nobody.
Nettie Best says, I have a Pizza Hut 1 block away from me, and it is really clutch when I want to eat and get a tiny amount of exercise. I work from home, and I don't want to pay delivery fees. Abia says, with all the terrible men in the cabinet, there will be lots of stories that create huge buzz, outrage, and no consequences. With so many egos involved, they will be busy with themselves mostly. I never lived in a time that was not a trying time while we were in it. Only with time passing by, the past times seem easy compared to today because they are over and not in active danger anymore. But maybe it's just my personality. I guess. I don't know, man. I read a lot of Black history, so I be looking at that shit like, that was worse. Like, I don't know what it's like in Germany, but objectively, if you read history, you be like, this shit, I'm glad I ain't got to live through this shit.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we're about to have to go through some this shit.
Yeah. When you start actually like listening to like podcasts and like Roger say, going back and watching documentaries, you be like, oh, that shit is scary. You know, that's why I was very adamant, and I would continue to be very adamant with particularly when he ran the first term, taking it back. Back to what, bitch? Back to what? Back to what? How far? Where's back? I don't want to go back nowhere. Like, I'm like, no, I understand the terms behind that.
Yep. Rona Raphael says, all I know is that all my comments went out the window with that light story. I'm flying to Appia's neck of the woods on Friday. I got to add X-ray vision to my third during my flight. Bringing lice on a flight equal declaration of war. Now, if it's a wealthy person, I'm amenable to discussing reparations for emotional, psychological, spiritual, sexual, and usual healing. Sexual? Or at least go on a flight.
He said, we're going down the whole board.
He's so crazy. Or at least go on a flight.
Scammer to the end, apparently.
At least go on a flight with them evil whites in Trump's cabinet and infect them all with lice. I'll grant 40% discount in the settlement. Here I was happy with the amount of through the fire that we got in this episode until lice messed it up. Hit me up, Appia. Appia says, oh, yes, where are you and how long? Part of the woods means pretty sure Frankfurt, I hope. That's really close, like 30 minutes. And she put her Instagram name on here. And he says, Ja Frankfurt, aber Flughagen, fahren Havitz, Beck, departing in a few hours, arriving tomorrow, Morgan. Heard it's about 3 hours drive. I'm Raphael on LinkedIn if you want to stay in touch. Oh, they gonna end up taking a picture or something.
Oh, if y'all do, let us know.
The blackout tips worldwide. And be careful. Check your pockets, your wallet. Don't sign nothing.
Don't sign nothing.
Don't sign nothing. Don't agree to anything. Bring your husband and kids with you so that you know you're a real person with a family and not just a person that gets scammed.
Right.
And don't be writing in to us 3 weeks from now. Like, have y'all seen Raphael? I gave him a $6,000 investment for a cruise that he said was officially the Blackout Tips license. He ain't got no official license, anything with us, Appia.
We just let
I hope I'm not too late because I know you already living in the future. It might be tomorrow.
Right. It might be tomorrow wherever you are. You a Wonga. Y'all in tomorrow.
Oh, Lord. Miss BK Beauty says that Kang and Coretta wedding gonna be on Django Unchained Plantation. I was watching your YouTube today at work and busted out laughing when you talked about JM and MG's engagement. Hilarious. Thank you. I worked on that. Evie says, I'm hoping Megan changes her mind before they make it official because I have a feeling this man gonna drag her down. Everybody says that, but what do you do to somebody that want to be dragged down? Okay. YouTube. Goodwill Blurden says, I hate Texas so much. Sauce is a Texas rapper. I doubt he got a check. The street dudes here are so ignorant a lot. And I mean, a lot of them support him or don't vote. I've been explaining to people I personally know for months why both are troubled mindsets. I really hate living here. My mom said, great show. JV says, heart emoji. The problem with MAGA faithfuls is that they will dig into the hate rather than accept they made a mistake. Thank you both for shining the light in these dark times. Z-Mom says, I chalk other platforms like the Majority Report and the Young Turks in that progressive liberal leftist overly nuanced analysis. Wish you guys could get on these shows to state that case. Man, so this is what I was talking about. I don't want to. And it's not like I'm intimidated or I think I couldn't hang with them or whatever. I mostly think it would be a waste of my time. They make their money a certain way and I would be fucking the money up. Right. If they started feeling like, if they adjusted their point of view to mine, it would just fuck up their money with their people that are very invested in their sort of anti-Democrats because we're so progressive stance, right? And I'm sure they've had people on there. But I would get something out of it, which is I'm the kind of person you call to be on a show like that. So there is something in it for me. The last step is I don't really value being the kind of person you call to go on a show like that. Yeah. So that's a perfect encapsulation of the like, I could do it. I don't want to do it. But if I did do it, it would change how certain people see me, even though it would not change how I see myself.
Yeah, I can see that. Yes.
Ramsey D PH Dunn says 5 stars for the show and how Karen loves Mama Tips. Miss Sewell says Amazon wishlist isn't clickable link. I can't see anything. I said go to our website, theblackouttipps.com, and that link works on here. So the comments you can put a link, but the show description you can't. Motherfucker. I'm sorry. So can I put our wish list on here? I'm gonna try, guys. We're gonna see if this works. I don't know if this is gonna work. I'm gonna copy and paste our Amazon wish list onto the comments in YouTube. Let's see if this motherfucking works.
Yeah, mine may not. Everybody got real weird rules with that. Most of them you can, some you can't.
All right, I just shared it. It look like it's working. All right.
Okay.
Jason says, Yo, Rods, I hope he got a check. I hope he got a check. Chant might be the only thing that gets me through the next few years. In fact, that could be its own segment on the show. It could be. Haha. With regards to the lady with lice on the plane, the part to me that was wild wasn't just she got on the plane with lice. It wasn't just that she told everybody. It wasn't just that she had the black woman take the lights out. It's that she thought this was the time to have some jokes. That's another great point.
And recording it.
Ain't nothing funny to me if I got lice. I'm going to be a humorless motherfucker that day. If I got lice, nigga, I couldn't even watch a stand-up show. Nothing's funny to the lice out of my body.
Ain't that the truth?
A Simply G Inc. says, Hank episode, all right, dude, is the new Ant-Man. I don't know what any of that meant, but thank you for writing in. The poll, who can out Pizza the Hut? Nobody. A few people and businesses can, or pretty much everybody. 17% say nobody can out Pizza the Hut.
Okay.
Nobody. 27% says a few people and businesses can out Pizza the Hut. And 55% of people say everybody pretty much can out Pizza the Hut.
Not everybody.
That's wild.
And I could see some people over the years because they all have seeing changes in ingredients and things like that. But for some people, they go, oh, you know why I think this too? Because I think as time went along, people had access to things outside of Papa John's, Domino's, other parts of the country. But down here, you could go to the local shit with DoorDash, or for a lot of people, they're like, oh, I don't have to get the shit up the street now. I can get the specialty pizzas and shit like that. So I think for a lot of people, that was like, yeah, other people can have Pizza Hut. I just never had access to them.
All right, let's get to these voicemails, guys. All right, there's a lot of them. 6 people called in. This person left 3 voicemails.
Okay,
it's not playing for some reason.
No shit.
Do I gotta wait on it to load, or this shit just ain't never gonna play?
Do you need to?
Has it been too long? Oh,
hey, Rod and Karen, it's Amira. I called me 4 years ago. That's smooth. Yeah, everything y'all are saying about the election results are it's 100% completely true. The especially the white liberals for the Democratic Party are they don't understand the soul of this country or white people. It's just come to pass again and again. They will ignore black people and pretty much gaslight us. I remember when Biden was pretty much, they just were like, nope, he's not going to do it. He said, well, I'm not going to do it. And it better be Kamala. Okay, whatever. I just remember thinking at that moment, oh my God, we might lose this. But then with Kamala, obviously people donated who never donated before, people who are black, people who were just everything. To have this result of an election when this is probably the best campaign the Democrats have ever done since I have been alive, and I've at least noticed campaigns since Bush, because that's when I came sentenced as a child. It's just wow, okay. I just I see this. Y'all need to keep black people's names out of your mouth, because y'all truly don't really want us here or respect us within this space. We told y'all how this could be. We were telling you about the voting populace and how they would vote. We were telling y'all it needs to be a white man. And y'all were like, no, you know what? They can't be that bad. We can run Kamala. She's a black woman. Okay, look, everything's fine. And come election day, all of the swing states go red.
Yeah, and it's wild because she left 2 more messages, but it's wild because there's no true mea culpa of recognition of oh, y'all were right again.
Yes.
Like with Joe Biden the first time, they said we were wrong and we were going to lose, and we were right. Black people made that decision for America, for Democrats, and we were right. And there's just no deference ever given to us. There's no idea that we could know the country and that we can know the country as much as Donald Trump knows the country. There's never a recognition like, maybe we should listen to them. We just got to go through this over and over again. I'm tired. Y'all don't want my advice? Fuck it. I know what I'm going to do with my vote. I know the right thing to do. I'm going to do it. And if y'all want to hop on board, so be it. But if we get in another situation like this, we just going to have to force y'all on board again. As long as that South Carolina, if they have another election and the South Carolina primary is first, we're going to have to do it again, y'all. Because these motherfuckers, everybody thinks white people are better than they are because they got really good PR, but they're not. They haven't been. Not in America anyway.
It's Samira again. Yeah, like I said, all the swing states were red. So you were telling me that you gaslighted us out of the current sitting president who might have had a better chance. I don't know at this point. Who knows? Like hindsight 2020. But y'all, this is such an absolute betrayal to Black people. And I don't think the Democratic Party, other non-Black minority groups and ethnicities understand what they have done to the soul of Black people in this country. It will take, if not decades, to repair this, to repair the loyalty they have lost from us. They should expect very little to nothing from us going forward outside of just, okay, we're going to vote. Don't expect donations. Don't expect us helping with your campaign. Don't expect us helping us with whatever issue. We are going to buckle down into our communities because, unfortunately, we are the people, especially Black Americans, are the people who were built up from being enslaved. We know how bad this can get. Our ancestors know how bad this can get. This is unfortunately our blood. And if everyone else has to feel this to get on board with how it used to be, okay. But I mean, outside of literally coming into the community and paying people to do certain things like livable wages, I cannot see so many Black people participating in the political game and party so much anymore. This is such a betrayal.
She left one more voicemail.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, and I 100% agree. I agree with you, Roger. There are going to be people like Eljo Williams, things like that. Like those people are going to do that no matter what. But it's going to be a higher percentage than what people. A lot of people do not. They underestimate how insulting this was, specifically to Black women. To Black women, the backbone, like it is a smack in the motherfucking face to us. And I will not let people forget how insulting to us, because yes, you motherfucking gaslit us. Because when Joe Biden stepped down, you know who Black women were the number one people online that were fucking outraged. And even Eljo Williams said this. They say, I'm gonna vote for her, but I will not forget. A lot of them were saying, if she loses, yeah, it's gonna be y'all ass. And people underestimate how furious Black women was that Joe Biden stepped down. All the other groups was yay, rah, rah, rah. I know I was one of them. I was like, bitch, no, what are y'all doing? Like, you have to understand how white people function. And y'all, and the thing is, I feel fucking gaslit because y'all motherfuckers, y'all was like, we're taking his funding, we don't believe him, and blah 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 blah. And y'all made me think I was motherfucking losing my goddamn mind when I was like, this shit don't make no sense, y'all. This don't make sense. Why are you doing this? This doesn't make sense, y'all. Like odds of you losing increases with this decision. But y'all made me think that I was a motherfucking fool. Okay. I went with the program because I'm not against the program. She lost. Okay, we know what happened when she ran. So you got to deal with the consequences of that, not me, because this is a decision that I was not privy to. I didn't get a vote in. My say-so was not in this. Joe Biden could have lost too. But not trying funny, I personally would have been cool with Joe Biden losing because I was like, at least it was a white man off. And this just me. And this is something that I will never forget. So yes, I 100% agree with that caller. Trust. in a lot of these states and cities and municipalities, these white folks are going to be fucking shocked when they go there, and motherfuckers going to be like, I'm not showing up. I'm not phone banking. I'm not doing a motherfucking thing because y'all stuck y'all middle finger at me and told me to kiss y'all asses. You knew what was right for the party. Bitch, you got it. You got it.
Yeah, I think Biden stepping down was an inflection point, and I said it first. It was like the first fucking thing out of my mouth was, it better be Kamala, and if it's not Kamala, you're gonna lose black women, and if she loses, there's gonna, like, people are gonna remember this, because that Democratic Party is not capable of holding firm and being like, look, we did what we did, we ran how we ran, and we just lost. We ran the race that we were supposed to run, and just the numbers came up a little bit short. We were not able to do what we were supposed to do. Nah, it always has to be someone's fault. And most of the time, it can't be the fault of white people. So we got to have this long ass drawn out lying session about she didn't run the campaign good, or hey, look, they didn't get to the working class voter. And it's like, no, it's obvious these white people are racist and they're never coming back to your party. Well, no, he made inroads with Latinos and black men, and no, not in any way that made them win the election. There's not enough numbers. White people showed up in full force and they voted for this man. Can we have that conversation? No. So that's why you got all this anger and backlash and shit. But yeah, I felt this similarly. I was advocating for him not to step down the whole time. I saw the debate and I went, he gonna have to step down. And it's just that simple. Karen has never watched that debate. So there's a cognitive dissonance that's just like, it's all theory. People that watch the debate, it's easier to understand. Like, fuck. Like, it's not like I watched it and was like, yes, step down, bitch. I watched it and I went, these white people will now use this against him to say, well, that's why I'm not voting. They won't, like, they were out, basically. And the job from that point on was, how do you get them back in? It was like, well, if you have a very enthusiastic campaign run by a very savvy candidate that, hey, you got what you wanted. You said, anybody but Biden. You said that.
That's what y'all said.
You made a promise. And the whole time, you know, you can go back to conversations we've had on this show, conversations we had with our friend Keith Malley on last week on Keith and the Girl. Like, you can go back to those conversations and you're going to hear me and Karen being like, I don't know if these white people can be trusted. Like, it ain't about you personally. Like,
yes.
Like, obviously, if you're a white person listening or talking to us, you not the people we're thinking about. I was never worried if Keith Malley was gonna be like, man, I don't know. I know that at the end of the day, even if it was Biden, he would have pulled the lever for Biden. Even if he was like, I don't know, man, this motherfucker's out of it.
Agreed.
But that was the point. That was my point. You would have pulled the lever for Biden. But in that circle, there's a lot of fringe people who wouldn't pull it for Kamala, who would pull it for Biden. And they didn't have a voice in the conversation because they not outspoken. They not going to come up. They don't want to say that. They don't live in New York City or Charlotte, North Carolina. They live in rural Pennsylvania. And they're like, I don't know, man. Biden's getting old, but he's like my grandpa. I'll vote for him. And he don't, you know, he don't mean no harm. And that same person's like, this Kamala Harris, I don't even know who she is. She's dangerous. She's DEI. Just something about it is just inauthentic. And they can't say they're not racist in their mind, but they ain't voting for no black woman. And that is ultimately what it came down to. But I feel you, Amir.
I swear this is my last message, but just, I mean, in regards to everything that has been going on, whether it be on social media, we're talking about Israel, Palestine, and then other issues. So many people are ready to, you know, the whole thing when you're on a plane and they tell you, okay, put on your mask first before you help someone else. That's like what so many people just did not do with this election. They decided either to not vote for president and vote down ballot and or just vote for the plane crash that is Trump, thinking that for some reason that would save them. But they didn't try to save themselves. They tried to either save someone else, i.e. the whole Israel-Palestine thing, and not try to even look towards what was best for them. And that's actually perfectly fine as a decision if people accept it, but you can't go on and write articles and articles and articles about, okay, what happened, without realizing the truth that is white people didn't want to vote for a black woman, and that is the end. No one is writing about that. That's actually making me angrier than anything. That they are willing, again, to ignore what the soul of this country is. It is misogynist. It is racist. It is capitalist. It's too much. But I guess if they're going to continue to navel gaze and live within their own hubris, this is what we're going to continue to have. All right. Hey, bye. Thanks. I was trying to end this on a downer, but whatever.
Thank you. And the only thing I'll say is where I kind of wonder if you and Karen may be proven wrong about this whole like black women opting out is that all politics is essentially local. And I don't know that black women who have been organizing and doing the actual work locally for their communities, which are mostly going to be black communities, are going to like step down from their positions, quit, stop doing stuff. So I don't know that 4 years from now, this party will see like a de-blackening where it's like, oh, black women just abandoned the Democratic Party at every position, their communities. Like now white people are the council members in Charlotte, North Carolina, where we have all these black council members and stuff. Suddenly it'll be like, no, white people hold those positions. Black people basically have stayed away from Democratic politics, say y'all do y'all. I'm not organizing, I'm not campaigning, I'm not doing it. I don't know, because this is a fraught time that is very close to the hurt. We as black people have rebuilt ourselves from worse injuries than this. And so historically I can't, and maybe I'm totally open-minded to like, a couple years from now we have the off-cycle elections and you're like, oh no, black people never came back. Karen was right, Amira was right. But right now I think people are so hurt and in so much pain and anger, and it's like everyone going to blue sky. They want to prove something today with their actions, but it's only consistency that will prove those actions. If you consistently stay on blue sky and post and never come back to Twitter, you will be right about blue sky is the future and Twitter's not. But if you just go on there for a week because you're upset and you start tapping back into Twitter, and then a month from now it's the Super Bowl or whatever, and you live tweeting it on Twitter, not on blue sky, then your actions don't align with what you thought was going to happen. Politically, things are going to continue to happen that affect black people. And the fight within us and in our communities is going to have to be strong, because these motherfuckers are coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think your Democratic strongholds, your Democratic backbones are, I don't know that those people are just going to walk away like, fuck it, I guess we don't got rights. Like, I think there's going to be some fighting. My point has been, I think black people are some of the only people in America that are prepared to fight all the time.
I can agree with that.
I think you may see an exodus of white people and privileged like classes of people faster than you see black people come off of just the Democratic Party as like an apparatus. Because the only progress and protection we've seen has been through the government and laws in America. Black people have never really been afforded the rights to just like arm ourselves and be like, fuck it, we're gonna go live on the combine. Y'all better not come fuck with us, blah, blah. They'll blow up your city. They don't let black people live in peace. So we've had to get the government and authorities involved to protect ourselves. So I don't know that I'm just allowing everybody to feel their feelings, because we're all feeling feelings right now. But if you're telling me 4 years from now, after experiencing 4 years of Trump, black people are going to be like, nah, this is fine. This is the future. This is what we're at. We just going to live through this. And if it's Trump for the rest of our lives, it's Trump for the rest of our lives. I think black people are going to be the only people that still got resiliency to fight. I just don't know what that looks like. And we're going to find out together, because only time's going to tell us what it looks like. You may see even more of a power grab. I don't know. But the fighting for the leadership and the soul of the Democratic Party is going to happen whether we're involved or not. And it probably would behoove black people to be involved rather than not involved when it comes to the future of what Democrats decide. Because if we let the white people completely decide by themselves, they will just decide without us.
I 100% agree. And like I said, it's not the fact that I'm like, fuck it. I'm like, yeah, you don't get my vote, but all that extra stuff.
Right, but you weren't doing that, Karen.
No, I was
saying
not.
it like you're taking something away from them. You're not. You're very upset, and you're saying things that would be hurtful to hear someone say if they were doing those things. But this is like when conservatives are like, I'm not buying no more rainbow flags. You weren't buying any.
That's so you weren't buying any.
You weren't canvassing. You weren't making phone calls. You weren't marching. You did donate.
Yes.
And I will once again say, we got 4 years to see if you hold true on that. If you never see a candidate or a cause that makes you go, I want to give money to this cause because it's that important to me. Everyone's mad and hurt right now. So maybe you will be this way. Maybe like they'll nominate some candidate and Trump will be in office and it'll seem like Donald Trump Jr. is going, or JD Vance is the next president. And you may really be like, fuck it. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna go vote. That's all y'all getting from me. Or I don't know. I know you all our lives. I don't think the person that was just yelling 5 minutes ago into the mic doesn't have passion. I don't think you've really given up. I think you're upset.
I'm very upset.
And I think it's just okay to be upset. You know, I think you've been watching isekai anime on loop for 2 weeks now because you're upset. I don't think it's...
Yes, I have. Yeah,
I think that doesn't go anywhere just because we don't voice it or just because we won't admit to it. It doesn't change anything. It, like, you're angry, I'm angry. Everybody calling is angry. Everybody listening is angry. It's a very, upsetting thing we're about to go through and that we're currently going through.
Yes.
But while allowing that, I'm not challenging and trying to correct. No, you won't do. I'm just saying my personal belief is we gonna have to see, because I think the fight is too strong in a lot of us to really truly be like, yeah, fuck it. I think a lot of us are just we're motivated by injustice, and we're about to see a lot of it.
Yeah, yes, baby, and truth, and the truth of the matter is, when I look at America and what they voted for, I'm very sad. I'm very depressed. I'm very aggravated. I'm very upset. Like, I have a bunch of very, very strong emotions rolling through me. I'm mourning. Yeah. Like I have a lot of things rolling through my head, and it's very, very frustrating for me personally when you're looking and you're like, all of this shit could have been motherfucking prevented. That and I think that's what my rage and that's what
you've been going off the whole show, and I just know you. We're not gonna be on here talking about everything that's happening to trans people, what's going to be happening to children, what's going to be happening to our schools, what's going to be happening to education, what's going to be happening to public funding, what's going to be happening to healthcare. And you just going to be like, well, fuck it. Now, there are some people that are like that. I don't think you're going to be one of them. We'll find out together. Maybe we'll be on this show a year from now and be like, well, they took all the Black History books out. Anyway, we don't care. Maybe next topic, Jonathan Majors got married. Like, maybe we will be like that. But I can't see it. I just think everyone need a timeout. We mad, and every feeling is valid right now.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not holding anybody to anything they're saying right now. I fluctuate daily.
Yes.
I be like, the amount of times I'm like, okay, you so fucking smart. You got time. Y'all come up with it, podcast bros.
Y'all figure
when
it
you
out.
find out that these white folks don't care, then let's go back to the drawing board and realize you can't do it. But yeah, we're gonna fight because we always fight. So I don't know. Like I feel you. Everybody's mad, and I don't blame you. Anyway, this show is gonna fucking so long. I'm sorry.
Hello, Karen and Rod. I'm listening to the feedback episode, the post-election episode 3008, and everybody's saying the things that I would say, but I just want to remind people who are doubting that the whole reason was that she's a black woman, that this motherfucker won the popular vote for the first time since he's ever run, and then of course subsequently won. He won the popular vote, and that says it all to me, because any other argument that could be made can't be made anymore. The populace voted for him, period, and end of story. So like and I knew this when Biden dropped out. I kept saying America doesn't like black women, and I wanted to have hope, and I was excited and all of this stuff. At the end of the day, they did exactly what my gut said that they were going to do. And that's very depressing to me, not shocked, just depressed, because it just means that everybody was full of shit and no one was being honest about who they were and what they were going to do. And that's very disheartening. That's all I need to say.
All right, allow me to hearten you a little bit, because I feel you, but let's stick to the facts on this. Kamala Harris got the third most votes ever, ahead of 2020 Donald Trump even. The only people that have ever gotten more votes than Kamala Harris is 2020 Joe Biden with 81 million. Donald Trump this year was 76.8 million. And then she got 74.3 million. In 2020, he got 74.2 million when he lost to Biden, right? The reason that I think it's important to bring this up is they weren't lying to you. Those people that said they were going to vote for her did it. They meant that. The real lie is in the cover up. The real lie is in the excuses when she lost and being like, well, it wasn't. Listen, she ran a bad campaign. Nobody wanted her. They should have had a primary. That's where I get mad. That's where because you're lying. Now you're lying to me.
Right.
Now, if you just want to say, look, there was a lot of enthusiasm. There was a lot of money. There was a lot of turnout, like to her campaign events. They ran a hard campaign. They went every fucking where they're supposed to go. And at the end of the fucking day, there were just a certain amount of people that said, I'm not voting for a black woman. And whatever number that is, that's the number that either stayed home or the number that was just, like I said on the show, there's a number of people that actually were just more motivated to vote for Trump this time to stick it to us. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that came out in this country and voted for one man and nobody else.
And no one else.
Insane thing to do.
Yep, because all these states, like Roger said, Trump won, and everybody up beneath them was just about Democrat.
In the swing states. So those are the real facts. So I'm saying this to hearten you to go, it just looks worse than it is. They want you to feel like there's a mandate, a referendum. We got to stop black people. We got to stop women. We got to stop LGBTQ people. And a lot of weak-minded motherfuckers are going to think that and go, yep, that's it. That's the lesson we learned. I think we kind of learned we're about 2 million, 3 million votes away from being able to pull this off. The question is, what are we willing to do for 2 to 3 million more votes? I know what I think is going to happen, but we're going to have to see. My guess is if you have another election, my guess is 4 years of Trump and Republicans governing is the thing that swings 2 to 3 million votes in America. Now we don't, maybe that won't happen, but it's only if they govern and do a bad job and people start feeling like, I don't want this anymore. It's the only thing I've really seen work. It's just like, oh man, this George Bush thing, I don't know, man, he fucked up the economy. I guess we can move on, right? They don't be moving on for the right reasons. They be moving on for selfish reasons. So anyway, that's what I would say. We got a couple more voicemails. Sade.
Rod, this is Sade. I'm Agent 19 on Twitter. So I was listening to the feedback show because I've been taking my time going through all of like the political podcasts I listen to, like Three Guys On and all my other ones and whatnot. And also I listen to War Report too. I love them too. Mm-hmm. So for those that haven't listened to them, you should listen to them too. So I've been taking my time going through, and so I just started listening to the feedback. And Karen, I tell you, my God, I've been listening to y'all since 2016. So this is our third election that we've gone through together. Like we're friends, you know, in my head. But this is the third election, and y'all have been spot on exactly how I've been feeling inside. And the rage that you feel now is exactly how I feel. And my husband says the same thing to me about being a fiery cauldron. And so I'm the same way. And I just want to let you know that you are not alone, and I feel the exact same way as you. And I want to tell both of y'all, thank you so much for everything that y'all have done, because all these years, and pushing 10 years now, 8 years that I have been listening to y'all, I don't have words for it, but I just appreciate it. And I'm thankful for y'all, because you make me feel like I'm not crazy. So you give stuff, you explain stuff in a way that helps me not be rageful, but also know what's going on. And just want to let y'all know I love y'all. And also I'm a premium member too, so I'll be listening to everything else too, like the Nerd Off. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetie.
Appreciate you. Glad you got something out of the work we did. And I'm glad to be, a voice for people out there listening. Because I also, sometimes I listen to shit and I'm like, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
This not what the Daily and these niggas talking about, it should have been a primary. That's not what happened. And y'all are delusional to think that shit makes a difference. It don't make a difference. Just say, why won't you say it? It just shouldn't have been a black woman. That's what you should just say that. That's more honest.
Right. And
well, if they would have had a primary, if they would have had a primary and picked not a black woman, then you would have made up some other reason that they would have won, but they probably would have lost that shit too.
I agree.
Hey Rod, hey Karen, it's Nikki. Hopefully I'll see you guys this Saturday on Three Guys On. But anywho, yeah, I wanted to I forgot to tell you guys this a while back, something that I seen online when during the election, when everyone was trying to, get the votes in. Here I live in Arizona, and one of these Instagram accounts that lets you know what's going on with Black people in Arizona, I noticed that it started publishing a lot of right-wing things about a month ago, and it was very much Black Republican-ish stuff, and I was like, wait, this is weird, because it went from showing you where all the Black events, blah blah blah, to all of a sudden it got really right-wing, and I looked. After I noticed it after a while, I actually clicked on it, and whoever owned that Instagram, it was hidden. I found it. He put, I no longer own this, such and such owns it. And I looked at that account, and basically it was some white right-wing account. And I was thinking, so this is where they get Black men are Republican, yada, yada, yada. Because, because they were really trying to get the Black man. But now that the results are out, like I was telling my husband, I was like, I guess only people in their right minds are Black people and Jewish people, because we voted Democratic overwhelmingly. I was like, but we are two very oppressed groups since the beginning of time. So it makes sense that we would notice oppression before everyone else does. So yeah, that was my tidbit about the election. You guys can put out any shows this week. I hope you guys enjoyed your rest. Bye.
And Latino women, they did the right thing too. Just make sure everybody get their props that understood the assignment. Everybody else can suck my dick.
All right. this is Christoph. Rod and Karen, love y'all. But I just want to say, I'm listening to Mr. Morale and The Big Steppers. Great album. Love the album. Great album. Love it. Perfect. And I just want to say, Baby Keem is the future of the rap game. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to let you sit with that. I'm going to let y'all sit with that. Got it. Love y'all. Love the show. Peace.
You know what, Christoph? I fuck with Baby Keem. But you know what's weird? I thought he was gonna take off after Mr. Morale, and it seemed like it still ain't happened. And I don't know why, because he got all the tools. So I mean, I'm with you in that I'm a big Baby Keem supporter and fan. But I don't know why he ain't really like charting and like really taking over the game like that. Maybe it's still like baby steps things for him. And I know like he hangs with Kendrick when he collaborates with him, and not everybody can do that. You know? So but I love Baby Keem, and I was saying he was the future years ago. I just maybe I was wrong. I don't know. It happens sometimes, but maybe he'll be the future soon. All right, last person left 3 voicemails.
Hey, Rod and Karen. This is a long-time listener, first-time caller, period. My name is Rhea.
And then she hung up. All right, she called back.
Hey, Rod and Karen. This is Rhea calling back, period. I don't know why I keep saying period. I think I'm doing talk to text. Anyway, this is Rhea again. Long-time listener, first-time caller. I'm trying to be succinct and to the point, and I'm failing miserably. I thought I would call to say thank you for doing the auto renewal on the Black Friday sale. Makes life easier for me. I appreciate everything you guys do. Have a blessed holiday season.
All right, she called back again. I do like that these are short though.
Hi, this is Rhea again. I'm calling back for the last and final time, just to say that my daughter who listens to the show is probably going to be embarrassed that I'm being such a boomer about losing voicemail. Tori, I'm sorry. Rod and Karen, thanks for letting me get that out to my daughter. She'll get a kick out of it.
I love that. That's hilarious.
I love that.
I thought it was talk to text. That's hilarious. I can see me doing some shit like that.
And I know your daughter is somewhere shaking her head embarrassed, but I love it.
Mom.
She seems like she
love you, baby. Mamas are embarrassing, but they love you.
She got a cool mom.
Right? Real cool.
Y'all both listen to the show. Ain't too many out here like that. All right, let's get into the last thing, emails. Yeah, Romy brought up Smino in the chat. Yep, I thought Smino was gonna be it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just ain't a good predictor who's gonna be next, you know. All right. K Bernard says, hey Rod and Karen. I love you guys. I've been listening about 13 years since I moved to ATL. This is my first feedback. I need to speak to my cousins in my head because y'all get it. I was born in Alabama. I grew up in Michigan. I moved to Atlanta after college. The racism is the same in all these places. Michigan is more covert, but to the point, Michigan is the most segregated state in the country. There were places in Michigan where we didn't stop because it wasn't safe. And there's no safe place in the country for Black and brown people. And for those who think there is, they have drunk the Kool-Aid. The disappointment I feel about this election isn't even for me, it's for my kids. The things that are going to take place will directly affect them as they grow up. My dad and every older Black person I know saw the results, shrugged, and ate breakfast the next day because they know this country. We are the first generation to experience civil rights in totality for our entire lives, but we Black Americans were raised by people who have fought with this country and survived for generations, and we will be okay. The immigrant population and white women have no idea what is coming, what our ancestors fought for, and that their fight is the reason they are seeing progress. When white men learn that their fight is actually with capitalism, not with diversity and other minorities, realize their proximity to whiteness will never be enough, maybe the needle will move. Until then, we got us. Yep. Oh, our girl, Catherine Heller.
Hey, baby.
Boo. She says, hello, you two beautiful people. Hi. Just want to say thank you for the affirming grief in this country after Tuesday's election episode of the Blackout Tips. Much love, Catherine. Well, much love right back to you, Catherine. Mm-hmm. You know we love you. Mm-hmm. Alicia says, hey, y'all. So many things I won't even try to bring up the stuff I've been meaning to write to y'all. It's my own fault for waiting too late to get a feedback email in. I'll just stop by to see how y'all was doing. Anyway, something from a few weeks ago that I've been meaning to let y'all know I agree with. The Daily Podcast has been getting on my damn nerves. I used to listen to them every day on my martyr commute to work, but since Biden's last debate, they have been working my nerves. I've been downright skipping episodes since the Harris-Walsh loss. They are doing exactly what Rod said they would do. Start up the Rod Was Right music. Girl, you know I can't wait. Okay? Let me pull up my Rod Was Right music. 1 second. I'm typing into the wrong letters on the keyboard.
Oh, you good.
Get my fingers on this R real quick. There we go. Boom.
Rod was right. Yep. Rod was right. Rod was right. Rod was right. Yep. Rod was right. Yeah. Rod was right. Whoop, what was that again? Oh yeah. Rod was right. Rod was right.
Mm-hmm. As somebody that's a fan of this show, it's wild though. When they cover international news, not trying to be funny, but I realized that when they cover international news, it is fucking great. When they start covering the news here sometimes, you're like, oh. Mm. And so for me, yeah, I've been like that for a while. And sometimes I look at the show title and just automatically skip it. It's certain titles and phrases and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is clickbait. I was like, oh, this is going to be some bullshit. And I
haven't listened in a long time. It's just, it got too brazen. Like once it got to the point where every episode was Biden should step down.
Yep.
And it never really came around on the Trump stuff. And then there's never an admission of any level of like ineptitude, complicity, or whatever. I'm just like, I can't do it. Yeah, I haven't listened in weeks. I think I may even stop following it. I there's other shows I can get news from. It's damn right insulting because they're one of the people, and there's many people that are complicit, but that just made me realize, oh, we can never have a conversation about white people vote for Trump because of the racism and bigotry and stuff. Since we can't say that, I can't exist in a world where we have a conversation that leaves that out. So I'm not willing to talk about these marginal improvements Democrats can make in other areas if we can't talk about why there's no movement in a white fan base that likes this stuff. These motherfuckers have been acting like Kamala was an incompetent candidate who only focused on fringe topics and was out of her depth. Instead, Herndon even got his ass on the mic and said we should have had a primary to select a better candidate. But if you rewind back a few weeks, they were sucking Kamala's dick. Yep. I remember them talking about her being a breath of fresh air, how popular she was, and championing how much money she raised in such a short period of time. She was a ball of hope and sunshine and exactly what the Democratic Party needed until she lost. They act like it was her fault that white Americans wouldn't vote for a black and Asian woman. They act like that tangerine asshole didn't spew racist hate and nonsense that white people ate up. White people who mostly voted for him. White people who, although they think they aren't, are still the majority in this country. Yes, and she didn't run on that's why I say it's a lie. She wasn't running on divisive fringe issues. Trump told y'all she gonna make trans people get surgery in prison. She didn't talk about that at all during her campaign. 0 times. There were trans people who were actually like, I wish she would say something more affirming and positive about trans people. But even trans activists understood. I remember reading an op-ed from a trans activist like, I kind of understand why she's not talking about it, and we still need to go vote for her ass. Because one person is going to take all our rights and try to destroy us, and one person is going to further our rights. They just ain't going to campaign on it because they know it's a third rail.
Right.
But nah, leave it to, listen, the Daily will figure it out. They got all the goddamn answers. They don't need my $9 a month. Again, anyway, I had someone punch up one of my comments on the threads this past weekend. I don't think I'm a comedic genius. I can take constructive criticism, but What the hell? I commented on an adorable video of a grown man getting the puppy he wanted since he was a kid. The guy in the video cradled the puppy and cried. He asked his friends if they were dead ass. Pure sweetness, right? I commented, oh, that dog is going to be so spoiled. They're going to be insufferable. One person commented, inseparable. I got you, LOL. No. Just call me Kamal _ you don't get me. I said what I said. That grown ass man, that cute puppy are going to have matching outfits. The dog's going to have birthday parties. He going to refer to the dog as his son. Hell, he might even give that dog adorable middle names. I said he was going to spoil the dog. And based on his reaction, the history of wanting a dog and how he finally has one, he probably going to go overboard. And you know what? No, I do not need to explain myself. That's how they get you. They punch up your joke. Then you got to explain why your shit was funny and didn't need no help.
Right.
Now it's not as funny because you had to explain it. 197 people thought the shit was funny, but no, not Mr. Just call me Kamal _ to this unfunny ass nigga. I need a little something. I have a deeper level of understanding of JL's rage. See, that's what we be talking about.
See,
that's what me and JL text about.
See, this is the start of the supervillain.
This how me and JL text punch downs, and then me complaining about his podcast co-host. That's it. That's all the text. Anyway, y'all, I ain't really want nothing. I was just stopping by to see how y'all doing. Love y'all. The other Alicia that used to write this show. Thank you. KCT says, I'm sorry if this is long. I'll only send emails once a year. Hello, lovelies. Listen, this has been a dark week for most of your listeners, including me as a Black woman in America. I cried for obvious reasons. But this episode was truly a highlight of my week. The feedback episode. I'm always late, so I was actually on 2992 right before the election, but as soon as the election got done, I knew I had to skip to the latest. You both were and are amazing. I've appreciated the foot on the necks that you've had during this election cycle. I appreciate the unrelenting reminders that Trump is a felon and a racist. As a military veteran, I will never ever forget that he literally tried to take over the country. That's unforgivable and treason in any other reality. But in Rod's alternate non-serious universe that we've been sucked into, it's the reason to re-elect the felon, right? Who know the punchline of this silly universe is going to be the same shit I just went through.
Right.
The true highlight of the feedback show for me was Karen. I felt her anger. I came to tears when she spoke about how she remembered, and the way I cackled when she went into detail about the goddamn baloney. It is ridiculous and absolutely goddamn comedy we needed. I don't know about y'all, but this episode is a perfect example of artistry and comedy. Y'all literally start with, well, here's the bullshit we're dealing with. It brought some funny into it, not so funny situation. Rod, you're really wonderful at your job. Your ability to work this shit so it all makes sense, but it's also funny. It's truly a gift. But Karen, you are my auntie in my head, and I want to express my appreciation for you. Not just in theory, not just because you're a fellow Black woman, but you are funny as shit. LOL. Your genuine expression of emotions has made me feel seen and heard. Thank you. I don't have nothing else except gratitude. Be safe in this non-serious society. Very respectfully, Kiara. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very, very much. Yeah, and Roger can navigate around me and my landmines. None of this is rehearsed and nor practice, so Roger don't know what's coming out of my mouth.
Natalie writes in, hey, Rod and Karen, feel free to skip over. This is too long. All right, well, skip it. Of course not, Natalie. Of course not. I would just be an asshole. Come on.
Don't do that.
I had fallen off listening to you guys. Hangs head in shame, but I'm back. I just want to see the motherfucking Trump bringing us back listeners. Prosperity Ave over this bitch. I just want to comment on the mirage that people in blue states have about being safely blue. I agree 100% with you and Karen. I've been in Connecticut for 3 years. I grew up in Brooklyn, New York. Okay, Brooklyn in the house. We love to see it. I don't know why people don't get that cuts to the federal budget and agencies can have an effect on blue states. Perfect example is education. If the Department of Education is gutted and all the mandates, protection, etc. goes back to the states, some states will suffer more than others, but the point is there will be suffering across the board. Connecticut has protections in place for students, but if we don't get that federal funding, that means property taxes will probably go up to help make the difference. Oh, you don't own a house, you say? Well, guess what? Your landlord is happy to pass the property tax increase to you. Increases in other taxes are also possible. My daughter, who is 3, is on the autism spectrum. Thankfully, we are able to get her various therapy services, speech, one-on-one behavioral therapy, etc., covered by early intervention from the state, as well as through private insurance. If the ACA is gutted, however, our private insurance company can decide not to cover my daughter because autism is a pre-existing condition. Even if I didn't have a kid on the spectrum, I would care about the ACA, not only because it puts guardrails on private insurance, but also because so many people depend on the health insurance coverage.
Right.
Lastly, 4 of my neighbors put up Trump Vance signs on their lawn the week of the election. My neighborhood has gotten more diverse since I moved here. I think that sends a clear message to us who are not white. In addition to that, there was a fire on a bridge in my city a few months ago that caused a shit ton of traffic in the span of 3 days along I-95 and surrounding neighborhoods. Federal funds are covering 80% of the cost of rebuilding that bridge. Do I think my neighbors know this? Maybe so. If they do, are they so blinded by racism and misogyny they will vote for an administration who wants to put a federal agency that will provide this funding? Yes. Thank you and Karen for all you do. I'll be signed up for premium again, listening as much as I can. All the best, Nat. Thanks, Nat.
Thank you. I think for the first time, once Trump get in office and start implementing his shit for the first time ever, people are going to realize how much the federal government do. Because one thing about living here in this country, sometimes people can get so settled that they do not realize how much the fucking government does for them in their daily lives. Like a lot of people go, what the fuck that do for me? What the fuck that do for me? Yeah, when bridges start collapsing and roads start crumbling and all of a sudden schools start shutting down, all of a sudden everybody looking around, they going, what? They're going like, yeah, the federal government cover that, dog. Like, yeah. Like I said, we just take shit for granted here in this country and we just assume this shit gonna function, and all of a sudden police start delaying, all of a sudden your shit get on fire, firefighters is slow, EMS is slow, shit like that. Hospitals can't do shit. Why? Because a lot of these places get some form of federal funding to keep them functioning.
And blue states actually accept the federal funding, so y'all will feel it if you don't get it. A lot of these red states don't even accept the federal funding, and just to keep their citizens poor and uneducated and unhealthy. Yes. And so they won't know the difference between a Trump administration or a Biden administration because they got politicians who will actually not accept funding sometimes or take the credit for the funding that they voted against. LaShonda writes in, good morning, Rod and Karen. Catch up on podcast more now that I have a vehicle. Of course, the check engine light is back on, so I don't know how much longer I will have it. LOL, fucking squirrels. About the election, yeah, I went to bed feeling like Trump was going to win only because my year has been ass and I felt like I wasn't going to get any good news outside of my son's recovery this year. So I apologize to everyone for my bad juju affecting the world. Don't apologize. It wasn't your fault. You did what you're supposed to do. Mm-hmm. That said, my son had an original Glasgow score of 8/9, which is a moderate to severe traumatic brain injury. He went to vote and he later told me he almost voted for Jill Stein as a joke, but he realized that he really didn't want Trump to be president, so he voted for Kamala. If he can recover from a brain injury and make a good choice, no one else has an excuse. I saw a lady on social media rant and rave, but she made a good point. Some of these uncommitted folks wanted us to worry about a land that they fled more than the worry about the land they fled to. Not recognizing their ability to protest is because of the rule of law and order, because Trump has shown he will flout every chance he gets. Mm-hmm. Sadly, their countrymen back home will suffer for the hubris. But we move forward because there's nothing else we can do. I was deeply disappointed in 2016, but this year's just was. Maybe too much trauma for me this year, but it was like, yeah, this tracks. Let's see what we have to overcome this time. We are overcomers as people. I know we don't always want to be in survival mode, but it's our strength that will carry us. Love you guys. So proud of your commentary and efforts, Shonda. Thank you. Mm-hmm. John says, election, Gaza, Russia. Karen, come sit by me. There are so many people to be pissed at right now, but the ones that bother me the most are the ultra left, mostly white progressives who shit on Biden from the very moment he won the primary in 2020. The debate performance may have been what ultimately caused the dam to break, but the real issue was the reservoir of constant bitching and moaning about Medicare for all, Green New Deal, student loans, Afghanistan, and then finally Gaza. It was a relentless 4-year smear campaign that drove his poll numbers down so effectively that Dems had little choice but to push him out because it was looking like we were going to absolutely get destroyed by Trump. This was always going to be a tough election, as inflation has long been a killer of incumbent governance. And this year, we saw that with every major political party in power, even right-wing ones. All over the world suffering significant vote share losses. Kamala's greatness actually helped our losses be substantially less than most. But it was people, quote unquote, on our side that gave her an impossible task by joining into the constant chorus of Dem bashing from Republicans and Russian bots, in my opinion. It's like we put our team down 30 points going into the fourth quarter and made it so Kamala had to go 10 for 10 from 3-point land just to have a chance. As always, too many progressives just couldn't resist the urge to bash our candidate / party no matter how deadly the stakes are, and that drove me fucking nuts. And yes, I'm including all the people who suddenly discovered Gaza as their pet issue to bash Biden / Harris, because as far as I can see, they were the same ones who were already shitting on them long before Hamas decided to start a war with Israel. Yeah, what's crazy is just watching how that commentary has just basically evaporated.
Yes, it did. It stopped.
Like, it used to be a time you couldn't even scroll Twitter without people just constantly bringing it up. Now they're not talking about the shit no more.
And Roger,
they're not protesting Trump, and they're not asking him to do anything.
And you were right about this. You were saying some of them same people gonna turn around, and now everything they tweet about gonna be the shit happening within the United States.
Mm-hmm.
And when some of these people going, but Gaza, they gonna say, fuck that. Like it's almost gonna be the opposite. They're gonna say, I don't got time to focus on you because we got shit here.
Yeah.
Well, that's what people were saying before. It's not that we didn't care, but if you wanted to help them like you claim you did, here is just as important as what happens there. You can't say, fuck what's happening here, but who I vote for and who runs ain't going to impact them. It was so short-sighted, and it didn't make sense.
The way that protests and the hashtag blew up almost immediately, even before Israel had responded to the attacks, always felt really sketchy to me, and likely aided by foreign actors like Russia, China, and Iran. Like, it had already been primed and ready to go. And I'm not the only one who noticed. Hillary Clinton said the same in a recent interview on CNN. She also criticized protesters' ridiculously oversimplified framings of the most complicated history conflict in modern history, which is another thing I fully agree with. I can't prove it, but the whole damn movement always felt like it was much more about hurting Dems' chances in November than actually getting a ceasefire. To be clear, I don't think the Gaza protests on their own gave the election to Trump, but I definitely feel like they helped keep widespread anti-Dem sentiments among voters at a steady boil, enough to push Biden out and create a near impossible hurdle for Kamala, especially along with the obvious racism and misogyny she would inevitably face. Right? You're right that Russia's always in the mix trying to fuck with our democracy. I recently read a series of historical posts explaining how they have been using operatives to infiltrate labor unions and spread anti-capitalist propaganda in the U.S. since 1920, over a century. And even more relevant to now, they ran a huge decades-long influence campaign to spread anti-Israel sentiments to the West and global left by taking anti-Semitic conspiracy tropes and dressing them up as social justice language under the label anti-Zionism. It was so wildly successful that pretty much everything we've heard from the left about Israel-Palestine over the past year, Zionism is racism, settler colonialism, imperialism, apartheid, genocide, etc., all of those framings were literally crafted by the KGB, and sadly, they have become unquestioned dogma in progressive spaces in academia. I don't know. I know enough to know I don't know everything on the ins and outs of Israel-Palestine.
Agreed.
I've been reading Ta-Nehisi Coates' The Message lately, and I've just got to like some of the stuff about Israel. And some of the stuff is very compelling because it's like people's own words about how setting up the state of Israel. But at the same time, like, I don't. At the same time, I think it was ridiculously short-sighted to kneecap a presidential candidate that probably would have tried to mitigate as much harm as possible from Israel to Palestine, and would have had more leverage if they won, than to put Trump in there, who's like, they're going to turn the shit into a sheet of glass. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
Right.
I mean, if Jewish people were just so like evil and they want to kill all the Palestinians in Gaza, I don't know why they would have voted for Kamala either. Because obviously the person that's the most like, y'all can go kill all them people and I would never lift a finger, is Trump. And yet the majority of Jewish people voted Democrat. So I don't know what to make of all this shit, because it's not adding up as neatly as the people say. And yeah, a lot of influence and online astroturf and all that shit is involved too. And it became a huge distraction. It feels a lot like black men are leaving the Democratic Party to me, where it's like, you're going to waste an inexorbitant amount of energy on something that ultimately is not one of the top issues for the people that live in this country to go vote. And it's not me trying to be a jerk or be cold-blooded, but it's not. And now that you got Trump, you're about to see the hierarchy of issues pop up, because motherfuckers ain't talking about that shit no more. Well, as you said many times, we had a language now to manipulate people through good intentions under the guise of progressive values. The Soviets recognized this a long time ago, played a long precision targeted op, and it worked better than they could have ever imagined. It's a fascinating story. You can read the work on Soviet historian Isabella Tabarovsky. She got all the receipts. We got played big time. The Soviets may have won the Cold War after all. Yeah. Asia D just, oh wait, shit. I put this in the wrong thing. This is a holiday card request. All right. Theron says, Rod and Karen. Theron. Okay, I said it right. Yeah, like Charlize Theron. I hope I said it. I think I said it. Theron says, Rod and Karen. First of all, thank you for uploading the episodes to YouTube. It's the only app we are allowed to watch on work computers due to the company using training videos uploaded to YouTube. In response to you reporting on big money taking over local media here in Metro Atlanta, our local CBS affiliate reports that they are the only locally owned news station in Metro Atlanta. Wow. Also, our local newspaper, not the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, in a bid to stay afloat, delivers the newspapers through mail Tuesday through Saturday. Still, so I get my newspaper, but now from the mailman instead of the paper carrier. Since I read it at dinner time, it's no big deal not to get it in the morning. I also have the digital option to read on my phone or PC. I gladly keep my subscription current so I can have access to what is currently happening in Cobb County for politics, sports, education, and business.
Yeah, that's fine. That speaks a lot because normally the newspaper was like 7 days a week, and Sunday was like Sunday. That's when you get the sales and all that stuff.
And you get them color comics. That's what I used to love.
Yes,
I feel like Garfield and color in this bitch today. We eating good.
Yeah, we eating good. So for them to be like, we not even doing Sunday or Monday, that shows you that the subscriptions have gone down tremendously. And like you say, you getting them in later on in the afternoon. Like you say, yeah, you used to get somebody with, they made sure by the time you got up in the morning, which means they were probably up half, 3 or 4 in the morning delivering your paper to be sure that when most people got up in the morning, you had your paper.
Lastly, Mr. Span says, as I'm listening to you talk about how glib a lot of the white liberals are being about the outcome of this election and how Jon Stewart frames this as Democrats simply needing to adopt more Republican tactics, it made me think of a YouTube video I saw just yesterday of a quote-unquote liberal panel of speakers that showed up on Piers Morgan's show. One of the speakers was this dude named Kyle Kulinski, and his analysis was that people saw Kamala as too much of the status quo, and people see Trump as a change agent, and they just want something different. Pretty surface level bullshit. But then Piers Morgan asked him, how did the Democrats overcome such a crushing defeat from the Republicans? And his answer was, the Democrats need to make Jon Stewart their nominee running on Bernie Sanders' platform. What's funny is that those are two washed up has-beens that those are also status quo is my point. Like, those are not new ideas, but sure. Never mind that the framing was absolute bullshit, but his reason was that people find Trump entertaining, so the left needs someone who people find entertaining, but could also seriously advocate and push through a progressive agenda. These guys really have learned nothing from the past 9 years, and it's sickening. Anyway, great show this week. As always, I'll holler at y'all later. Peace. I mean, Jon Stewart might could win just off of being a white man, but it won't be because he's offering some political vision that no one's ever offered before.
Right.
The Republicans have told him no to his face plenty of times. We tried to raise money for the firefighters.
Mm-hmm.
We did get some stuff in the mail. Shout out to our Amazon wish list.
Shout out to the wish list.
I believe it was our girl Pialani.
Okay, no problem.
And the first thing she got us off the wish list. Wait, there's a note in here. Sorry, I tried to read the note first. Mahalo nui loa for the podcast. I think I'm going to order a set of these for my household from Pialani, Lady DEI of the House City of Angels. All right, let's see what we got here. We got herb. What is this? Prep Works Pro Keeper. So you grow your own herbs. Oh. So I can get like some fresh parsley and
rosemary,
cilantro and shit like that.
Yep, straight from the house. Yeah, you can just raise it. And this
Karen probably put this on the list. This ain't my type of thing.
Yes, I did. Because, you know, it's one of these things. I was like, you know what? Shit about to go up. Fuck it. Why not raise it at the house?
Yeah. No, this is cool, though. I'm not complaining. I wouldn't have thought to make it a thing. So, it's dope. Okay.
Yeah, and I want something simple. because our shit gonna die. Is it 2 pieces or 1 piece?
What do you mean 2 pieces?
So that was the only thing in the box.
Oh, I have more. Karen, I got this.
Okay, my bad.
Over here, backseat driving.
I'm sorry.
I know it's another thing in there.
Oh, my bad.
All right, but
yeah, I have to figure out how to use it. And Roger,
why you put some dirt in there?
Roger might have to
water,
figure out how to
some
use
water at the bottom. So do it not sit in the water?
It probably does.
Interesting. All right, well, you know what? I'll YouTube how to use it, but
yeah, so we can have fresh herbs.
Do I gotta buy some seeds, or I just my parents grow herbs, so maybe they got some.
You know your mom and daddy, somebody got some. They might just give it to us like plant it in here.
You know, I know old black people know some shit about some gardening.
Child, yeah, they your daddy like, I got some fresh dirt.
Yeah, every time I go down there, he'd be like, now come on here and look at this one. What's that?
Child, we probably have some worms and everything.
I'm like, parsley? I don't know.
Rose
parsley to me.
It smells good.
And then she got this, which is Teepublic Press. What is Teepublic Press? It's got pictures of a bunch of lemons and shit on the side. Oxidation proof and moisturize, lock and seal in freshness and flavor. So I guess you put fruit in these things and they hold the fruit and keep it fresh. Fresh fruit keeper. Okay. So you like, it must open up and you put it inside somehow. And then it keep the fruit fresh. Then I guess it would
longer, like if you cut it in half or something like that, or don't eat the whole thing, I guess it saves.
Look up the instructions because I don't want to break nothing.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
But yeah, it's got a bunch of these little things in it. Please dispose of properly, recycle, reduce negative impact on the environment. Okay. Fresh fruit keeper. Your fingers grip the top of the container, slowly turning the counterclockwise to open it. And then you just you put the fruit in there. Oh, I see. Oh, and it's kind of stretchy.
I guess to preserve it.
For like slices of fruit that you don't want the shit to go bad.
All right. I guess you chop it in half.
Once again, Karen probably put this on the list. Y'all see some G.I. Joes on there? That's me. Karen be putting stuff on here. I don't know what it's supposed to do. I had to Google how to do this.
Yeah, them herbs.
Yeah, one of them's a pick. This definitely for avocado. I know that. This something that keep an avocado fresh. I do need that because nigga, I have so many avocados have gone to glory in this motherfucking house. Well, I use half of it for a salad, then the other half it'd be like, as soon as you put it in the fridge, it'd be like, I'm dead. I'm dying. Like, no, you couldn't hold on an hour.
It's like, nope, you're gonna get a smooth 15 minutes out of me. You better use me up quick, bitch.
All right. Well, that's it, guys. Thank you. This is fun. Hopefully no more 4-hour fucking feedback shows for a while. We'll talk to you next time. Until then, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah.